Welcome to After the Final Bell, a podcast about what happens when an adrenaline-fueled career comes to an end and real life begins. Hosted by UFC striking coach Mike Gonzales and YouTube bounty hunter Trevor O'Connor.
It's not just about fights anymore. It's about what happens when the gloves come off.
And the real adventure begins.
Join Mike and Trevor as they chat about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Life after the final bell isn't always easy, but it's always interesting. This is After the Final Bell.
Pole fitness.
Yes. Oh my God. Please do pole fitness. That would be hilarious.
You want to come?
No.
Camping is like the dumbest thing in the world to me.
Now.
Why do I want to go pretend to be homeless?
Straight up. Thank you. I've been trying to say this. Oh, man.
People need to understand camping is stupid.
What is your favorite documentary or biography? And I told like his was, what did you say? Spider-Man? What did you say?
That's a documentary. I mean, what if my legs are so tacky and dry from being old?
Click the join button now to become a member and gain access to all the behind-the-scenes footage. Join us weekly for our members-only live podcast, but only when you click that join button.
Sport jiu-jitsu, and you're trying to convert them and understand how to train as a fighter. That has to be probably one of the hardest processes to get them to understand.
Man, I think you just described like my whole frustration as a coach.
What's up, guys? My name is Trevor O'Connor. Sitting across from me,
Mike Gonzales.
you say it like it's a question sometimes.
It is.
He's like,
you never,
Mike
you
Gonzales?
never know my real name.
Right?
Or if it's going to be you.
I'm a Mexican. Got a lot of
How many names you got?
I'm not telling you.
2?
More than you.
More than you.
Not really.
No, maybe.
This is After the Final Bell, a podcast about what happens when an adrenaline-fueled career comes to an end and boring begins.
Yep.
I shouldn't say it like that. Real life begins.
Real life begins.
Adulting.
So we have an in-studio guest, of course, the Godfather. The Godfather of Jiu-Jitsu Funk.
Yeah.
Come on. You guys are being crazy.
It's the truth. Vellore is the doctor you go to see when your MMA Jiu-Jitsu is broken.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah.
It's the truth, man.
Yeah.
I watch everything, dude. I pay so much attention to everything that goes on, and I watch people, and I see their MMA Jiu-Jitsu being subpar, questionable, and then somehow those same people that I'm watching almost right after that gravitate towards you, and then things start to change and move. Between you and Jet and Mike, you're building some superhumans.
Yeah.
Try to.
I mean,
Appreciate that.
I included Mike because he's here.
Yeah.
Man, we're lucky to work with a bunch of, super talented individuals. Like a lot of the folks that I work with specifically were amazing when they came to me, So that makes it kind of easy.
He lies so much. So humble. Oh, I wish I had that much humility.
You
Just
don't?
facts,
No,
man.
not like that. Not if I had the level of proven result that Vellore has.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be humble. No,
Just-
that's why they give him the opportunities like that, and they give me different opportunities because I'd be out there going, I'd be on like people posting videos of their fight, and I'd be like, you need to come see me.
Wow.
That's why I'm not you.
Yeah.
See,
you get canceled quick. That's what happened. They'd be like,
Blocked.
"Yeah, skip that guy, man." Like,
I'm also trying to get canceled most days.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't try.
If people are going to cancel me, they're too weak to be around me anyway.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I
That's
don't
fair.
give a shit. Like I quit caring so long ago.
Yeah. I hear you.
But
Give a shitter's broken.
you know me, dude. I say inappropriate things
All the
at
time.
highly inappropriate times.
I can relate.
I say the things that people are thinking in front of them.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Most times.
Yeah.
But
You know what the best part about Mike doing it though
What?
is no one knows if he's joking or not because he stays deadpan serious, but he'll say something And then he'll just give that little chuckle, like right after, just to kind of lighten it off people. And then they walk away, and he's like, I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I think you probably see it like a certain way. I think when I see Mike most of the time, it's around the fighters and stuff, and I think he's a lot more direct in that setting.
Oh yeah.
Got to be.
I love. We've spoken about it many times on the podcast before. Mike and I have been friends for a long time. He was my striking coach,
Oh, right on.
like way back.
Yeah, 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, there's kids fighting. There's kids fighting now that were born like the year I fought.
Straight up. Yeah.
But I mean, we've been connected for a really long time and been friends for a long time, and a lot of people don't understand how to have a friend like Mike
Right.
because he is so direct. Like,
Yeah.
no explanation,
Sometimes.
no explanation, no like
Oh yeah. Just give it
on
to
anything.
You. Give it to you straight.
On anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey Mike, my wife is up here. She's cooking a meal. She made your favorite food. We're gonna put the fights on. Do you guys want to come by? He goes, no.
Yeah, that sounds like Mike. Yeah.
End of the conversation.
But hold on though. That's like a different thing though with Mike though. I feel like there's like 2 times a year where he might be actually like excited to go do some shit that he didn't plan.
Right, but it's
2 times a year.
It's either a direct yes with no questions,
Right.
or a direct no with no discussion.
Yeah, true.
There's no like,
Maybes.
there's no gray area. There's no like, so what's the time?
Yeah, or maybe.
No.
Yeah.
It's either yeah, we'll be there, or no.
Yeah.
Most times.
You know what? I was gonna say I've definitely caught him a couple times where there was like a little bit of like, yeah, like maybe, but I feel like you can still always tell by like the body language.
Everybody
and
knows
stuff. You're
maybe
like,
is no.
You're like, yeah, well, no, and just the way too. It's
Yeah.
like the body language is like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, look
You're
at
like,
it this
nah,
way.
you ain't coming. You ain't coming. Never mind.
So
Forget
obviously
I
we
asked.
were all in Vegas for JJ's last fight.
Yep.
Okay. We drove out,
Mm-hmm.
came out the day before. Do you know how many minutes I saw Mike?
35 seconds.
Wait, of the week you mean? Oh yeah, I already know. Man, when it's fight week, Mike's locked in.
I saw
And
him.
it's funny, that's something that's a little bit different about us. Like Mike is like a hermit, like with the fighter, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he's just like boom.
hunkered down.
Yeah,
Let's
and
go.
it's like me, I gotta move around a little bit. I feel like it get a little stressful, intense sometimes. So I'm like, I gotta go eat and go find something else to do or something. You know?
Vallore's notorious for renting a one wheel and just
Go.
just go.
Dude.
I'm out.
I saw him
hmm
at the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably like,
Yeah,
And
like
then, yeah.
love you guys. Actually, here's what happened. We saw him right before the walk. Like we were standing over there right before the walkout because at the Apex they just walk you. Like when you're friends and family, you get to come for that fight.
that fight.
And then
I'm
out.
like, peace. Yeah, get out.
So we were standing over by where we were going to sit because they were going to bring the previous fight family out.
Right.
And you guys were getting ready to walk out, and I saw Mike for a second there. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like just the eye contact, hello.
Right.
And then you guys went and fought, and then right after the end of the third round, when it was going to the judges, Mike walked over for 1 second and goes, "We got that right." And then he walked back over, and then after they announced it, we started to walk out. He's like, "Yeah, we got to go over this way, blah blah blah." JJ's probably. And JJ was gone because, they get him out
Oh, yeah.
and moving quick. And then you guys went in the back. And then I sent Mike a text and said, hey, Josh Johnson has a comedy show tonight. He was just actually at the fights and he has a comedy show. You guys, and he was like, no.
I'm
Yeah,
tired
man.
after the fights though.
Nah, for
that
real.
is-
Like 2
So-
days worth of tired.
The next day, we got in a car and drove home and he flew home and I didn't see him until we did our next podcast.
Tuesday.
Man, I'm not surprised about any of that because again, my experience, we've done a bunch of fights together now, with multiple athletes
Yeah.
and stuff, and man, he's all business, when it's fight week, man.
But some people don't know how to take that. Like there's people that would be in my position
Yeah.
that would be like,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
what
Yeah.
the fuck, dude? Like, I thought we were friends. We're in Vegas. When we drove on the way out there, I was like,
Yeah, and it's not like Mike's gonna prep you either and like tell you like, hey man, like, fight week is like this.
No,
like,
no.
Just,
I know him.
Just so
I
you
know him, so I know.
Yeah, but even if you didn't, like,
Yeah.
it's not like he's
not
gonna give you.
yeah.
He's not gonna give you the. You gotta figure that. Yeah, you gotta figure that shit
you
out.
hope that somebody else in the posse's like, hey, just so you know. But we were driving out there, and Kristen was like, oh, we should see if they want to go. And I was like,
No,
babe, I promise, we're probably not gonna see them.
2 times a year.
Like, not gonna see them.
Remember,
Yeah.
two times a year. That look, they him and JJ will do more things than that, right? But that stuff they play.
They do their stuff.
But as far
they
as
do
like
their stuff on the sneaks.
yeah, invite stuff, man.
Yeah,
two
it's got to
year.
be something big.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, it's not.
And then we talk about it at home for an hour before we even go. Like,
You're like,
what do
are
you think? You want to go? I don't know.
You really want to go? Are you sure you want to go?
Hey, and then even sometimes when yes is the answer, still might not come.
It still might not. Yeah.
Almost got out the door.
Oh, almost.
Tickets bought.
Yeah.
Never mind. We ain't going.
Sorry.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know.
Yep. It's
And
just-
then Tuesday, you're like, hey, dude, we left tickets at Will Call. I didn't see you. He'd be like, yeah, sorry.
No, he wouldn't be like that.
No, I'm just kidding.
He'll let you know that
I
day,
know.
that day
I
at
know.
least, like an hour before. You know, you're like, man, we ain't gonna make it. You
So
know,
I figured out a cheat code.
what's
what?
that?
Because we film a show together now, I just find things and say, hey, we're going to go film this for the show.
Yeah. And
That's
Got-
slick.
See, now he's got to
That is
show up.
Slick.
Then he's gotta show up.
now we gotta
Dang.
show up.
Okay.
You know what we're going to do?
What?
And it's going to happen this week now.
What are we doing?
Because you've been fucking kicking the can down the street.
What are you ducking
So
over here?
we had a
Oh
guest.
gosh, this is going to be embarrassing too.
So we had a guest who's an old friend of ours.
Well, wait.
She actually
before,
is
hold on. So before, the whole idea is to try.
Yeah, we have a new
things.
segment called Mike and Trevor Try Things.
Okay.
Because we believe that we can do anything that a normal person can do.
Okay.
And we can probably be decent at it in
After
a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
When you're an athlete, most of your life, like you can just pick things up.
Yeah,
You can
sure.
go do things.
Yeah.
Like one wheel. You probably tried it once and
Yeah.
you're like, fell a little bit, and then you're like, oh, I got this.
No, I fucked myself up. But
You know, he
Mike's been there when I fucked myself up.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's
good now,
I
though.
just like it. Yeah.
But when you take like an everyday person and you
yeah.
take some like and you
Probably-
put us
they
both
probably
in a
break their shit,
situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have this segment and we're really working hard to try to do something. We tried disc golf,
Pro.
Pro level.
got my pro card.
Let's go.
Trevor is. I still need another
So
goal.
One more day?
I need one more day.
You beat him then when y'all play?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
What else? What
anyway,
else have
so
you
we
tried?
have we had a gal on the show. Her name is Amber. She was a singer in my wife's band.
Okay.
My wife had an all girl rock band.
Oh, sick.
They opened for like Puddle of Mud,
Oh,
like
sick.
big shows.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, the singer in her band has a very eclectic life. She does a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You have to watch that episode because
It's out of the box stuff too.
it's not normal.
Okay.
But she's cool as shit. Like she's laid back, cool as it gets. So she painted Tupac behind you.
Oh wow. Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, she painted that and gave it to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's like probably one of my most prized possessions.
Yeah, that's dope.
I fucking love it.
Don't tell me you guys are gonna paint.
Oh, God, that's a terrible idea.
I would rather do that than.
That's a terrible idea.
Shit. It must be crazy then. What is it?
She teaches pole fitness.
Oh my God. Please do pole fitness. That would be hilarious.
You want to come?
No. Hey,
I'll watch.
I can hold the camera or something, you know? Yeah, that's crazy.
So Mike and I and Kay Miller, my wife, and JJ
Y'all all gonna go?
we're all going to go.
Okay.
We're all going to go. We're going to schedule it this week, and you're not getting out of
gosh,
it.
all right.
You need to tell me what day, and you're not getting out of it. Because we got to film something.
Second Tuesday next week.
Nope.
That's a day.
Do you want to do it
February 33rd.
What's today? Today's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it Tuesday after we film?
Dude, that should work. I think that'll work.
Kay Miller,
Hey, that's a no. Remember we were
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
this
no, no.
earlier?
We're going to go straight from here.
see, I got him then. This is how you hold him captive, and then
Now,
you take
where
him.
is this?
It's probably not far.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like a.
Big trek.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I was gonna say,
It's not like going to your house.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if it's passing my house, I might take a detour.
I might gotta stop in real quick.
Man, I can't wait to see that.
So
episode.
anyway,
That's
we're gonna
be
do
crazy.
we're gonna do pole
we're gonna
fitness.
do that.
More power to you.
Mostly, I'm scared that I'm gonna lose
embarrassed.
skin.
No, I don't even want it.
Man, I think for me the fear would be like the like I don't have
like
good
it?
range of motion on anything.
That's me. Like
You
my
know what I
shoulders
mean?
don't go above
Yeah,
90.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just picturing some of the stuff that
How long is
it's
this?
not
30
happening.
minutes?
I hope
Hour?
maybe an hour.
15? Yeah.
15.
10?
We can get a water
One
break.
more.
Can we do
And we're gonna do it the Mike Gonzales way. Just one more.
one more? Hey,
Just
we
one
should-
more.
Or I'll just do the warm up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, this warm up.
We're still warming up.
I see a lot of water breaks in in your future.
You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared that I'm going to climb up and then you're like supposed to hold on with your legs. What if my
I'm not
legs
holding
are
on, no.
slick? What if my legs are not firm enough to grip?
If you fall, I'm for sure gonna fall because I'm gonna laugh.
You know what I'm saying? No.
Man.
Well, what if my legs are so tacky and dry from being old that I'm like squeak?
But what if
What if I'm really good?
what if both of y'all are just naturals?
And-
You
dude,
just
I'm
kill it.
not-
dude, that's OnlyFans chubby chaser's dream. Just fat me sliding around on a pole.
Just no, like eloquent with it though.
Oh, you mean slick?
Just skills. You know, what if you find your calling?
Okay.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
There's some precursors that say that this is not going to happen that way. I can't dance at all. Not even a little bit. Like I don't understand.
what if though?
What if?
Oh, maybe I just need to be on a pole to
Yeah,
dance.
that's it. That's it. What if,
Secret
what
moves,
if,
your
what
secret
if the
move.
physics of it are just?
I got grandkids to pay for.
You know what I mean?
All right.
I mean, if I got to make money on a pole,
Link in bio.
And you know, Mike probably got some moves. He probably, you know what I mean?
I ain't got no.
Mike's that behind the closed doors,
Right? Private dancer.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
I bet he's done some like
You
some,
know it. Yeah.
some private dances for JJ. Puts her in the chair in the
Right,
dining room.
right?
Yeah, no. We're not
Grinding like
Does
genuine.
that-
This is good.
Slides that chair backwards.
You already, yeah, you know it.
I'm already sweating thinking about it.
I feel like that's. See, I think Mike says no to everything because they got some weird shit going on.
Right? Yeah.
They're like, no.
He acts all like,
He's like, I can't do
oh,
that
no,
tonight.
I would never. As soon as he gets home.
Tonight's hot wax night. Why would I leave?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Why would I leave? Oh, shit. All right.
Too much, huh?
Yeah, today. You ate too many.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
My microdose.
macro dose.
I found
Macrodose.
I found the exact right number for the microdose.
People, it is not 3.5 grams. That is not the magic number.
That's different. That's a different Saturday.
Yes.
So
But
now we've got to like
now
slow down. I'm already crying.
go different route now.
Right?
But we need some other
dancing.
ideas, though. We need some other ideas.
I don't have any.
I do want to see Mike on a one wheel.
He can ride it.
I can ride it.
I mean, it's,
I'm
you know,
not.
it's not great
We're not
turn,
doing.
but-
Can
We're
you,
not
like,
doing.
carve?
We're not doing.
Now that you're a professional snowboarder, though, you think you're better? Oh,
Hey,
he
to
took
be fair, the
lessons.
one wheel probably helped him with the
snowboard.
You know what I mean? No, I'm
Maybe.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Maybe.
It's
But
completely
I'm-
different physics.
But I can stay up.
Yeah.
The Lord see me.
Can you turn around and come back,
Slow.
or you got to stop,
Yeah,
turn the board
yeah,
around?
But
something
the
like
crazy
that.
thing about that stuff is, man, is you pick it up like super fast. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
you go from sucking in like one day to like pretty decent the next day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, if you're really riding.
My kid's
so.
got a ripstick way back.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's like two separate like you got.
Have you ever done one wheel?
Yeah. No, one wheel. Oh, yeah. Not far though. Not far though.
Oh, okay.
When we were in California filming in Sacramento,
Oh, okay.
Pat had his one wheel, but it ran. I like got on it and went, and then it ran out of battery.
Oh, so you carried it back? That's too heavy to carry
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I'm never trying to carry those things. They're too heavy.
Dude, but Pat was crazy though. He would go pick up to go food
Yeah.
and come back like,
Man,
You
I
know
done,
what I'm
I done
seeing?
rode all around cities and stuff
Yeah.
with those. Like, we'll go.
but like heavy, like carrying my food. I'm like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen more of the what's those other ones?
The unicycles.
Yeah, I've seen more of
Oh,
those
the
around
Segway
town.
ones?
No, with the single wheel in
Single
the
wheel
front.
in between.
And
The
where
Segway
you
makes
face-
them where it's only knee high.
Yeah, the Segway one I think is more of like a scooter looking thing.
No,
like,
no, no.
almost like you
It
sit
doesn't
on
have. It doesn't
No,
have.
no,
the-
it looks like a big wheel, and you're just
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, there's like a
electric
foot
unicycle.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like a foot platform on each side
Yeah,
of the wheel,
facing forward.
facing forward.
Who's
Yeah.
tried one of those? I
Not
haven't.
me.
I'm never gonna get on one of those.
Never.
Never. It's too fast. I
It
told
is
you
too
the
fast.
reason why the one wheel is perfect for me is because it Doesn't go faster than like 25. 30
Does it have varied? Like, can you throttle it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you control the speed.
Can you govern it though?
It governs itself, meaning like, yeah, you can go as slow as you want or as fast as you want.
Can you tell
Up
it
to a
don't let me
certain
go
point.
over this?
Yes and no. There's some settings you can play with that'll like slow it down.
The reason I ask is I don't have that really awesome switch in my head that says don't.
Neither do I.
Dangerous.
That's why
You're
I'm never
have
going to get on a
problems.
unicycle.
Oh,
And so if I got on a one wheel and it wasn't like set up for me to not die,
Yeah.
you would die.
I'm probably going to die.
Same. Yeah. That's why I can't get on a unicycle. Those things go like 60, 70 miles an hour.
yeah.
Damn, really?
Yeah, dude. That's why you always see those guys like super padded up. Like they got like a full face
Yeah,
helmet.
I've seen
Oh, I
that,
don't want to have to
like-
wear leathers and a,
Yeah,
and a
straight
helmet
up,
to
straight
go
up.
on my one wheel.
No, for
Hey,
real.
what if you showed up like that to the
To pole dance? Do I baby oil the leathers in between?
Yeah.
But then it might be too slick. And I can't get up. I'm just like,
Maybe that's what you're going for. I don't know.
I need to be able to get to the top though.
Stylistically, that might be your vibe.
And
you
it-
know,
and
just
it's-
slide around on it. You know what I mean?
Pull-ups are not going to get me to the top.
I was gonna say, like, do you have to train for this first before we go, or what?
We're about
Like,
to.
what-
No, we don't know.
No, that's the whole thing behind Mike and Trevor Try Things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not practicing nothing. We're
No.
just showing
We
up.
just go.
Okay.
We just go.
We need some more ideas.
Yeah. We need some ideas.
What do you
What do you suggest?
throw something out?
What about? What about?
It's tough.
It is tough because I mean, you know, both of you guys have lived some pretty full lives. You've done a lot of stuff. So what? Can
Mike's
we-
done like 6 things.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
That's cold. All right, let me think. What about roller derby?
Oh, gee. That would be fun.
I actually have a
But
little bit of experience.
You have some of that?
You've done roller derby before?
We filmed an episode against a roller derby team.
Okay.
And what happened?
In skate. Oh, they beat the fuck out of us.
Oh yeah, and the skates. That's not even.
Yeah.
Did you even get up?
Yeah, I could skate my ass off, and I thought I was handling business. And then I watched the video.
Ooh, I got another good one.
Uh-huh.
What about like distance cycling?
That
You do,
sounds
like-
terrible.
Like a long, like
I
a
would
long,
try that.
Like a long ass ride.
Like how? But what is long? Like
not like at least
Like
20,
20?
25 miles at minimum.
I could bike 20 miles today.
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, but I'm talking about like the road bike, like the sweet outfits, like
the
whole,
whole
the whole
tight
thing.
Oh,
Come on, man. Like,
Oh.
that's
I would do-
gold.
Valor,
that's
here's where you're
gold.
fucking up. Like, nobody wants to see me in spend. Like,
hey, that would be great.
I would look like when you open fucking
The can of
muffins.
biscuits.
Like,
Oh my god,
dude, I'm like 210 right now. I'm 5'7".
Well, that will make you
that's
lose
big,
weight.
That's big, sexy.
no,
You know what I mean?
Come on now.
There's a big difference between big, sexy. Like,
You can wear the sweet glasses.
like the old Oakleys that.
I mean, I feel like that's like
Yeah.
80% of the skit right there is just like how
Dressed up.
dope
How
you guys
terrible.
look. No, you got to go like for the full experience though. You know what I'm saying?
Like pedals that lock in?
like the
Yeah.
padded shorts and like the whole thing.
The water bottle in the little
Yes.
side pockets on my love
Some
handles.
little gel packets or whatever.
Oh, what do they eat?
know what
Is
I
that
mean?
peanut butter? What do they eat?
No, it's those
honey.
little. It's the
What
gel,
is it?
like honey or
Yeah.
gel or something too, right? Like they make some stuff for like that for the
See,
ride.
now here's what would make it good.
What?
I would go 40 miles. If at the 20-mile marker, we could stop and eat like chicken wings and like
You get those at the
some
end.
good food. No, but like
you
I can't go
just
that far.
You can.
I don't want honey. I don't want like.
He's like, the honey is not gonna cut it.
Like,
Like,
I'm not like,
understand this.
oh boy, at 10 miles, I get to taste this really awesome
don't have
protein
to.
squeeze.
Hey, it's about the energy for the
What do you mean
ride.
I don't have to? How long have you seen me go without a snack?
You're gonna feed off yourself. You're gonna be just fine.
Feed off yourself. There you go.
You just said you're really fat and you have enough fuel for days.
You'll be fine.
It's like trust me.
You want a
you're not-
long distance bike ride?
I'll try it.
20 miles?
I'll try 20
miles out?
20 miles.
It's going to be hard to film.
Nah, man, you get the GoPros, whatever. You know what I'm
You
saying?
have to put them on fast forward.
Hey, and then you
Can
get
you
some-
imagine trying to watch us for
What
a
if-
full
what
and
20
about-
mile
then
bike
somebody's
ride?
with you with like an e-bike or something, you know what I mean? Where they're not really having to work too hard. They can kind of.
Here's the deal. I'll take my e-bike and we'll put you on a regular bike and I'll film.
Oh yeah, the great idea.
That's messed up. That's messed
You
up.
We should no. We should. I'll bike. You ride the e-bike till it dies, and then you ride the e-bike back.
Oh,
pedal.
no. Have you pedaled an e-bike?
No,
With
but
no
I-
battery?
But I'm just saying that'll be a good deal.
There you go.
dude.
You won't need energy. You'll
Here's
just
the
need
thing.
energy for halfway back.
That e-bike's like $3,500. If we were 20 miles out and the battery died, someone just got an e-bike
For free.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done.
What are
with
you doing,
this.
Ubering?
Yeah. Do you not know me?
Damn. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I feel you on that one. I'm actually probably the same.
Have you
when it
tried
comes
to pedal?
Oh yeah, mine,
has the
mine
same-
weighs 90. Yeah, you have
has a-
73 too.
Yeah.
Mine weighs 90 pounds, so it's like there's no way.
Have you run out of battery
Yeah.
on it? And
No, no.
It makes
Hell
you
no.
fucking mad, dude.
I wouldn't run out of. No.
Well, now some of those e-bikes come with 2 batteries.
Yeah, you can put 2 on them. Even the 73s, you can.
The Super 73s have different like setup points. You can move their battery, the cradle for the battery around on the bike to do different things.
Yeah.
But the cradle points are the same. So you could hook up 2 and you could do them as in series, or you can do them together.
Get a little more power.
you get more
it's
power?
really not that much more power.
Well, yeah,
It's not
because
enough.
the controller governs all
Yeah,
that.
the motor and the wheel, it only does so much.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys just have it so that they can switch batteries. Like they go as far as one battery and then switch batteries and they can come back. But dude, one of those batteries, just to buy a second battery, it's like $700 or $800, dude.
Half the bike almost.
It's ridiculous. I love my 73 and I've done some fun stuff. Like we've cooked around on them. We've taken them off road.
Oh yeah.
In Florida, we did some just like stupid shit on them.
I love those bikes, man.
My old partner, Pat,
Vellore just got his back, he said.
I love the bike, not in love with the company. Sorry, Super 73, but yeah.
frame.
No, just I had an issue with my controller, man, and like I brought it to a pretty big store, brought it to a big box store to fix it. And it took them like 6 months, and it wasn't their fault. It was like they couldn't get the part from Super 73.
73 is notoriously terrible.
yeah.
Like
far
they
as
build a
customer
cool
service.
bike, but their customer service is terrible.
Horrible.
Can you pull that mic just a tiny bit
Yeah,
closer?
no worries.
There you go. But they also have a problem with the frames cracking,
Yeah.
and I'm
Oh,
always
really?
worried about that.
Yeah, but I'm not riding it like that, so I ain't got to worry about that.
cruising.
I was.
I was going to say, he's jumping it off of shit.
I did.
No.
So my old partner Pat, we were in Fort Lauderdale, and I was actually back in Denver. We were back in Denver for a week, and he was out there, and his bike got a flat. So he was like, "Hey, I'm going to take your bike out." I was like, "Cool, no problem." Like 3 hours later, we get a call from them, and he's like all bandaged up, like his whole side.
What happened?
He was doing like 34 down the hill, and then tried to make the right-hand turn to go to our neighborhood out there, and it was a little bit of gravel.
Slid out.
Boom, wiped out. Broke my forks in half, like broke one of the fork frames completely off.
Wow.
Like I probably had to put like $300 or $400 worth of new parts back into it when I got back. And it was like, I couldn't be mad because he housed himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd
I'd still be mad though.
I know,
Me too.
but you're like,
hey, where's my bike?
he paid the price for it already. He still has scars on his hands and stuff. Like he wiped out good.
That's brutal.
But it didn't break the frame. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Because if you break your frame, you might as well just be done.
Save the battery, buy a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to find someone that their motor went to shit or something and just buy their frame.
Yep.
Because you can't get one from Super 73.
Zero chance.
No, you got to have like,
You got to have the direct China connect. Like,
you need Elon
you straight up.
to like make a call for you and be like,
Dude,
and then still maybe.
Why hasn't Tesla made a bike, you think?
They have one. They had one.
let's have some concept.
I don't
thing
think they
for it or
released
whatever,
it
yeah.
though.
I'm surprised.
You know
I'm
what
not.
You're not? Why?
I mean, it seems like he's got bigger fish to
Well,
fry
it's
right
not,
now as far as like the rockets and shit, like
and
a
that's
bike.
the thing. It's not like a price point for him. Selling a $2,000 item for him is,
He wants big dollars, huh?
but Starlink,
Has
dude,
big dollars.
he
He
makes,
has
he
it.
makes, and Starlink is the shit.
Yeah.
Do
So
you,
we-
have, do you have Starlink?
We
Oh,
lived,
in the car or
no,
What do you mean?
like at
the
home
house.
for
No,
internet.
no.
So we lived in an RV for like 2 years while we
Mm-hmm.
were filming, and we have Starlink, and it's equally as fast, if not faster, than our house internet sometimes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Smoking fast, dude, and great coverage everywhere. Never had a problem.
Wow.
Just throw the damn satellite out.
Done.
Got it.
I'm a Tesla fan, so
Yeah, If we didn't have good internet here, I have my Starlink in the storage room.
Just run it.
I would just ran it outside and start it back up. Yeah, because it's great, dude. It is really good.
What's the price point on it? Is it crazy?
No, it's not. It used to be crazy.
Oh, okay.
Like 125.
A month.
Yeah, for unlimited high speed,
Wow.
ready to go anywhere in the world.
That's insane.
So you can just pack it in your RV and go, and you have internet every place you go.
That's amazing.
So
It's
for
a
100
necessity for me.
for 120 a
I
month.
only like the glamp, so the internet got to come with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you live in an RV,
If Vellore can't sleep in the Tesla, he don't want to go. Huh?
Pretty much. There's something that or better. It's not any worse than that.
Upgrade.
Hey, listen. Ever since the military, I'm not sleeping on the floor no more if I don't have to.
dude,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't camp. Camping is like the dumbest thing in the world to me.
Now,
Why do I want to go pretend to be homeless?
straight up. Thank you. I'll be trying to say this. Oh man.
People need to understand camping is stupid. The ground is hard. An air mattress never fucking lasts.
Not only that, but like
Tents leak.
unless you're going to some very specific place to see some like beautiful shit. Outside is outside. Like, oh look, it's some more trees. Like
I can go to
great.
I can go to Allen's Park and rent a cabin with all the amenities and still go on the same hikes as you.
Where's this at?
Allen's Park.
Yeah, see,
It's right up by
lock
Baldwin.
that down because I'm not about to go be in a tent.
It's
or
like up
any of
Left
that,
Hand
like-
Canyon. And they have like probably 6 or 7 different places up there that just have cabins.
I need at least like the Tesla's the minimum, and then from there we're going like yurt, or something.
I could do a yurt as long as it's like temperature controlled of some kind.
Well, naturally.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
said glamping. I'm not trying to.
I'm not trying to.
like generator.
Yeah,
Get
all of that.
Get things right.
Yeah.
Warm water for a shower.
What if
of
it's
that.
cold water?
You-
Only
no.
cold water.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. camp.
He camped.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
probably
we haven't been like we went like 2 years ago
but like camp,
in a
like
tent.
in a tent on the floor.
Why?
With just like a sleeping bag and a mat.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
For what though?
It was a good time.
Why?
Quiet.
What?
Nobody.
That's my biggest. Like
Yeah,
people
but
tell me about
isn't
it all
it
the
quiet
time.
in the fucking cabin?
Just as quiet.
No, it's not.
And you know what else is nice?
What?
A mattress on a bed.
You don't sleep anyway, so what's the
With a
good
pillow?
mattress?
Hot water.
Hot
Dude,
water.
I could spend the first night in a tent,
Uh huh.
and I would get up the next day. My back would be so tore. I'd be
Done.
like, "Well, that's the end.
Done.
Someone's gonna need to pack this shit up because I'm gonna be laying in the back seat waiting for you to take me home."
That just means you're old.
Memory foam. That's like that. We need at least that.
Sleep number, adjustable.
I mean,
Yes.
we have one of those too.
I do too.
I think you
Go
guys
sleep
you
number.
have the one where both of them go up, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what we have.
We don't have that.
Ours is the split.
We never
key.
use it.
No.
No, because Ronnie gets pissed when I lift it up.
She's like, "What are you doing?" huh?
So yeah, it just they stay
No,
together.
we have the split king.
Yeah, we do too. But
So we go and
Might
when
as- might as well
When he
not.
can't sleep at night, he's constantly.
put that thing on hydraulics.
I told you, Ronnie don't like.
I
it,
raise
but
her side up.
right? She's, oh my bad. That's hilarious.
We've probably used it. Probably we have not used it enough to justify the
Spending
added
it.
expense. But when we do use it, it's pretty fucking
It
convenient.
is nice. Yeah.
Like, well, I had shoulder surgery
Oh,
and I
okay.
couldn't sleep laying down.
Yeah. That's
So my
wonderful.
choice was sleep in the living room
Mhm.
or
Sleep in your sleep
Yeah.
number.
thank the Lord that I have a sleep number bed.
Now, the thing I don't like is that the bottom piece is connected. So when you want to raise that, like I like having that, what's that, zero gravity position or whatever?
Yeah.
And Ronnie doesn't like it at all.
See, that's the one option we didn't get, and I'm a little bit upset. The bottom, we only got the tops.
Mhm.
So I can't raise my feet.
I don't get to either.
But he's like, I paid for it, but I ain't using it.
That's still a new feature.
The thing I worry about is because I'm old and my body doesn't work. If I put my feet up in the air and like the power went out,
Yeah.
I might be just stuck there. I'm just waiting.
You already said your wife is a saint, so I'm sure she wouldn't let you.
Dude, she weighs like 99 pounds.
What if she just pushed you
She
off?
can move your legs,
I don't know, dude. I'm a fat piece of
Come
shit.
on,
She
210.
pushed you. She could push you out.
There you go.
And then I'll break a hip.
That'd be fine. You'd be fine.
She got to roll and tuck and roll.
She would just bring me snacks.
There you go.
She'd be like, power come on eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get him
It's
out.
You'll
Word.
be all right.
But whatever.
Yeah. I think I'm I'm 50% on the long bike ride. Sorry, I've been thinking about the bike ride the whole time.
I'm on. Yeah.
Where are you at percentage
I think
wise?
y'all could do it.
Let's go. I'd rather do that Tuesday.
Then pole dance?
dancing?
I'll ride from here to Longmont instead of do a pole dance.
Do you want to know?
What?
So when my oldest daughter Peyton
Uh-huh.
was in middle school, I was separated at the time, and I didn't have a pot to piss in. I was trying to run my internet studio on fucking hopes and dreams. I didn't even have a car at the time.
Oh, shit.
And my daughter was like, "Hey, Dad, we have a program. Can you please come?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, I'll be there." I don't have a car. I rode my bike from 29th and Vallejo in Denver,
which is the north side, right?
north side,
Yeah.
Right.
all the way to the northwest side of Longmont
Gosh,
What is
damn.
that, like 40, 50 miles?
to be there
Ah.
to watch
How long did that take you?
like 4.5, 5 hours.
To get there.
Yeah.
That's a whole day. 5 hours to get there. 5
Yeah.
hours, probably 6 hours home because you're tired.
Hey, respect though. That's dedication.
Yeah.
Oh,
What'd you do? What'd you take? What? 285?
287.
Or two? Yeah.
Oh, you were on the highway?
How the hell else are you going to get to Longmont?
I don't know, but I don't think the highway. It's
It's a small highway though.
a small
287.
highway. Okay.
She's like,
It's not like I-25. It's not like
might as well.
it's not like there were semis going. "Mwah, mwah."
The cars still be going fast, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not that bad. Dude,
Dang.
it was
so what
bad.
time did you leave? 6 a.m.?
I left early in the morning, and then
Damn.
got up there, and actually the Peyton's mom at the time, I think it was Peyton's mom, was so surprised that I did it and that I arrived on time and I was there for it. She actually bought me a bus ticket to go back down and so I could put my bike on the bus and ride back down.
That's fair.
That's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's winning.
dude, I was struggling back then. Like
No, I get
we
it.
didn't have nothing.
Just hopes.
Hey, I heard 29th and Vallejo, and I knew where you was at. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Vallejo.
That's far.
Dude, I grew up in the Quigs in Quig Newton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where
So you know about the bottom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I don't ever want to go back.
No, I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
So
Whoever
riding a
was-
bike far is not. I mean, I got one up. I was light then though,
Yeah.
probably like 150 pounds.
Oh, yeah. You're that two of that now?
That's Lil T.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
You're gonna-
full size me.
You're going to struggle, you think?
If we ride 20 miles,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's 20 there, 20 back.
Road bike.
Oof.
Road bike. No e-bikes. Y'all can't be cheating.
Yeah.
Road bike.
You want to do 40 miles?
Hey.
a
No,
day?
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yes.
Oh,
Road-
like 20 out and 20 back.
Oh,
you can
dang.
take a break in the middle, stop somewhere and eat something or whatever.
Hot wings.
But the main thing,
But then coming back,
the main thing is the outfit though. You gotta have
Oh, he
the
wants us
outfit
to wear
right.
the
so we could do
outfit.
10 miles out and 10 miles back if we put the right outfit on.
Look,
That's the main thing, because it's got to be. You got to get the aesthetic down. You know what I mean?
You do some biking?
e-biking.
You got the outfit?
I do some throttling. My feet might move like this a little bit, but that's just for show. Yeah.
Oh man, why don't you come with us?
I mean, I would do it. I like bike riding. So
Here you
that's
go,
not a
right
big
here,
deal for
fam.
me.
But you guys are already somewhat in shape.
I'm not. Right there.
Compared to me?
You can wear this, but without the shirt.
Ooh, yes.
That's like you guys
That
send that
is
to Kate Miller
hard.
so she can put it on the screen.
Oh, all right.
That is hard.
That's like the Borat version of a biking outfit.
Except not needs a beer. Needs a hot wing or something.
Yeah,
But whatever it is, it'd be amazing.
yeah. We got to come up with some more. We got to come up with some more things.
Yeah, we need to.
What we want to do is
Whatever.
sports.
Specifically, like physical things.
Yeah, to like sports, not like combat sports, because obviously we know that we can.
Right.
We could go to a combat sports, any like jiu-jitsu classes, right?
Sure.
We can do that.
Right. You're familiar with
What do
that.
you want to do?
Right,
Play
yeah.
cornhole?
I bet we could go. We should enter a cornhole.
Hey, but whatever you
Tournament.
do though, that type of stuff, like cornhole, whatever, like you gotta find like the best people around, and then go like the best regular people around.
Not
and then go.
professionals, just
Not professionals,
but close.
but like the people that's their thing.
Like bar darts.
yes,
They take
darts.
that shit serious.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
they do.
But y'all both played pool before, so that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Or maybe go get up on the competitive scene or something, you know, with the
bar
amateurs.
darts, dude, we're just like,
Do we need to practice?
we can't practice.
We can't practice.
There you go.
no,
Okay,
we just
I'll
got to
try.
go and do it.
I could buy
What
some
else?
darts. That way I could buy them.
Archery. Well, no, you probably
I've done that.
Yeah.
We should go. We'll go up to Luke's.
Okay.
Ooh, that would be.
He has a
super
whole archery like.
Yeah.
We'll go up. We'll do that.
All right.
We definitely should do that.
Luke, we're inviting ourselves up.
Yeah,
Just-
we'll be
it's
there
fine.
next
And then
week.
you got somebody like Luke who's obviously
Good.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
good at that.
yeah.
So
See?
that would be sick.
We need to find things like that.
Okay.
Sports that people do
that we could be better at.
that we could probably look like we're supposed to
What
be.
about
there.
driving like race cars and stuff like that?
Do you want to go
Oh,
today?
oh.
Do you want to go today?
What time?
Is JJ free?
I think so.
K Miller,
See what time it
K1. See what time we can get on.
Yeah.
I'm
For
putting
what?
the trophy up. You want to go?
What for? What? Oh, to K1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm talking about like real race cars, like not
we
the.
don't
No, I have a trophy.
We have it. He has a trophy from K1 from
Oh, well, that's not fair.
and
So
we're
you-
gonna,
And he
he's
thinks
putting
he
it
could
up,
take it.
and I'm gonna take it. So he's putting.
You
the
better
trophy.
represent, Mike.
I am.
You better represent.
I'll crash you too if I'm not losing.
I don't care.
I don't know though. Yeah, if he got the trophy, I'm
Dude,
gonna
I'll
have to-
get out
It
at
was
the
him
end.
by himself.
No.
one of one.
No.
Yeah,
It was
it
a
was-
full race.
He's like, nope. There was that 12-year-old.
Well, there was a couple 12-year-olds. I'm not gonna lie, but they're light,
That's fair.
and
That's fair.
It doesn't take as much motor to move them.
That's fair.
But when I win, I'm gonna get out at the start finish line, dude. I'm a victory lap on you.
All right.
They're gonna kick us out,
That's okay.
but I'm a victory
Yeah.
lap on you.
I'll probably win though.
Man, this is
I'll probably win.
Oh, it's on, babe.
Mike. Don't let us down.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
win.
it's
No.
so on.
Don't let us down,
It's
Mike.
so on, babe. Call and find out because we're gonna go. We're
All
gonna
right.
go today.
Okay.
Better not lose, Mike.
I'm not.
Oh, it's on. Oh.
Now hold on. Is this like 2 out of 3 single shot?
So- I've never
usually,
been, so I don't
usually
know.
what it's like 3 races. You'd like do 2
Wait a minute, hold
races.
on. You never been?
No.
All right, Trevor's gonna win.
No, he ain't.
He already got the trophy.
I one of
you
one.
haven't even been.
It's
It's gonna take you one time to figure out how to drive this stuff.
I've already played on this, like just like that.
It's
Mike
gonna
doesn't
take-
even drive fast. Like Mike hasn't sped in 10 years.
I believe that.
I just cruise.
100%.
He doesn't even go on the highway.
Stop. Damn. No,
To go from your house to my house, do you get on the highway?
Yeah,
Liar.
270 I-25.
I
You
believe.
do?
I believe that. I believe
rare.
that he drives pretty
Slow?
not slow. I would say
No, Miss Daisy. He is driving Miss
I'm
Daisy.
trying to find a
He
nice
is
way
the-
to say
no,
it.
No.
he drives very responsibly.
Yeah.
He drives like he has nowhere to be.
He drives with the utmost amount of care
That's
for
right.
everyone in his vehicle
That
and
gets
everyone
there
else on
safely.
the road.
He doesn't care if we die of old age before we get there. It's not.
But
It's
I'll probably win though.
on what? Like
The race.
on what's like what puts in your brain that you're gonna win?
I could see myself crossing the finish line before you. You might even get last, I bet.
I was gonna say, look, real talk. My money's on JJ. I think JJ beats you both.
What?
Yeah.
We have a sleeper in this though.
What?
My wife is like fucking Maria Andretti.
You think so?
Oh.
She's good.
And you beat
I
her?
had to box the shit out of her to keep her out.
You smash it into his wife, his 90-pound wife. He's like, boom, rubbing his racing.
There's a trophy on the line.
Okay.
We weren't married during that race. Before it and after it, 100%. But once you get in the car,
No, it's all bets off.
yeah.
Everybody's the enemy.
I will box you out. I will cut you on a corner.
Damn.
I will squeeze underneath you.
He's gonna spin you out, Mike. Then it's gonna be over.
You're too wide to
He
spin
you out one
cut
time.
underneath.
The car's the same size.
all right. Oh,
it doesn't
okay.
get bigger because I'm fatter.
Yes, insult you like that. Damn.
But I'll probably
cool.
win.
It's
And I'm
on.
putting the trophy right here in front of your camera too. Just
All the
sitting
time.
by me. Yeah.
It's on. It's so on, dude. Oh my God.
Y'all got to put like a name tag on it for like who's currently holding it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
You know what? We need to get a trophy made
For what?
for every activity that we do. Not a new one, but like a
Yes.
traveling trophy.
Yeah. Okay.
Like whatever Mike and
Yeah.
Trevor try.
And then you got to have whoever the instructor or whoever's taking you through it, like they judge who the best is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might as well just take it home.
I'm just have my name engraved. Like it's not going to be a sticker.
Mike,
What?
come on, you gonna let him do you like
No,
that?
I'm just gonna take it home. He's just gonna live with me.
Hey, some people are athletes. Some people are athletic supporters.
Damn,
You're on the athletic supporter side right now.
that's harsh.
You probably have a sponsorship with a jockstrap company.
How much are they
Getting
paying?
hot in here. Getting hot in here.
How much are they paying?
You guys are friends, right? Like,
He's just mad because he's gonna lose this race.
I'm not mad at all. I'm so excited.
y'all
now.
better come back and tell everybody how it goes.
Oh, we're
Oh,
filming.
we're filming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's not on film, it didn't even come
What's
out.
the-
Well,
what's
you
the-
know, if it doesn't come out, you know what happened. He lost.
What's the odds
coming
on
out.
this race? Is what I want to know.
I'm like a minus 80,000 right now.
I'm putting money up.
that's what y'all really should do, or something
Dinner.
something embarrassing.
No, not
Oh.
dinner. I'll pay for dinner.
Not embarrassing stuff.
No,
Not like
no.
okay.
That's
Here's
too
the
much
deal.
pressure.
Whenever we do stuff,
What?
the winner gets
Okay.
to choose the loser's outfit for the
For the
next
next,
podcast.
I literally was thinking the same thing. That would be amazing
Oh, geez.
for the next Trevor and Mike.
Well,
try.
yeah, or the next podcast. You have to sit in here, but it's not fair because you only get from here up.
Yeah.
I feel like the
Sometimes there's a whole
that you guys
ensemble that has to
trying
happen.
things that would be better because
Yeah.
look, imagine if there was a winner for this one with the pole dancing and you get to choose what they wear to it. Oh, that
He said he's going to do it. What did you say you're going at? Wearing?
the Elsa outfit.
No, the
Borat
Yeah.
sling.
Okay.
That's what he's wearing. He said.
What are you wearing? Just some
Shorts.
gym shorts.
Shorts.
I'm gonna look good. I should probably tan this thing though. My belly's gonna be. Oh man. At least if I tan it, it won't look as fat.
Damn.
Oh,
I need some Spanx to go under my Borat.
Damn. Not the Spanx. Not the Spanx. That's too much.
How are we here?
I don't know, but we got to get out of there.
You spiraled me.
You,
We're here to talk about
Vellore.
Vellore. And Vallore's just playing ping pong with our emotions. He's like, watch this. Bing.
Yeah, I'm just loving you guys' camaraderie and competitive
Oh,
spirit
yeah.
over here. That's all.
It's like a brother,
Right?
but you can't let him win no matter what. Like,
Never. Never, ever.
if we're not, like, if I'm not involved, I want him to beat everybody and everything.
Yeah.
But as soon as we're like,
It can go that way too if you're involved.
no,
Yes.
I don't want you to even come in second place.
Damn.
Dang.
That's
No,
harsh.
no, I don't want that for you.
Oh wow.
Like if
All
it's
right.
just you,
Yeah. First place.
I'll throw tax out in front of the cars behind you and make sure they can't beat you. Like I got you there. But as soon as it's us,
So y'all got to do that too, right? Like, and that's hard to do with those K1 places, right? Like, because there's always going to be like other people in your race.
Oh, there is.
So does it matter if
Oh, yeah.
if the other people beat you, or it's just literally just
well, I got a trophy.
He keep bringing that trophy up. Mike.
That's what I'm the one.
So
It
then,
was
like,
my idea to
I
race
was
for the trophy.
The winner, not like the winner out of my little group.
Damn.
But it was all, I think the
So
oldest
you
he said
gonna
was
beat
12.
everybody? You gonna beat everybody, Mike?
Three
when
times.
you win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's on. You like my cup?
Yeah.
You know,
that's pretty
he
good.
was upset. How much was that jacket or that sweater?
So at the Apex,
It was.
you know, we're sitting there waiting because you have to wait for your fight. So you're sitting,
Right.
and they have that little tiny little pro shop.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I'll probably just grab a hoodie real quick. So I think it was the hoodies you guys wore that
Yeah.
fight. The blue,
Yep.
the blue, the nice
Yeah.
Venom ones,
130, right?
150.
Oh, jeez. They marked
So-
it up
so
at
he-
the Apex.
So
I
he
think you can get it online for 130. Damn.
He said he bought the cup.
That was more in line with my budget
For real. No, 130 is serious. I'm glad we get all that stuff for free.
for a hoodie.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't make the price.
It's not our fault.
No, I just was like, I was looking around.
Yeah, I'm not paying that. Yeah, that's nuts.
I was trying to see if anybody else had been over there to look at it, and nobody else was wearing one.
Got bamboozled.
So I was like, let's back out over here.
That's hilarious.
I like them though. That blue hoodie is nice.
It is nice.
That's my favorite kit that they gave us. the
That
new
one?
Yeah.
You guys get some good shit.
We
It's
do.
getting better. They could make the shoes better though.
Yeah, they're not bad though. They're not horrible. They're just not great.
Are they the
right?
Noble still?
Yeah, whatever
yeah.
the rock shoes is. Yeah.
Noble, yeah.
They got new ones though. So
They're good.
I don't know.
Better?
We haven't got them.
Why?
Oh, they got new ones.
Like
Really?
right after your fight?
I think they.
They had him for that, but
So
it was
when the-
Apex.
when
They're
the-
like, we don't give him out.
when the
just
deal
didn't give
first
them to me and Mike.
when the deal first started, I think their like yearly thing is up in April's when it like
Right.
Switches
So
over.
that's when like you'll see new stuff come out is in April.
Oh, we got to schedule fights better, man.
We'll schedule.
If we're
one.
trying to
We'll
get
try-
the good shit.
For real, right? April every time.
No, Mike gave me
May
gave me
1st.
my very favorite pair of sweatpants ever. Those desert,
Reebok ones or
the desert
oh
the other ones,
yeah,
yeah.
those are sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
favorite.
who'd you get those with? I don't think I have one of
Tatsudo.
those. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't
I
get
got
one
that
of
with
those.
Tatsudo.
Yeah, those are my favorite sweats ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those.
I've been trying to wait to wear the hoodie.
What is like? Is it like a rash guard on you?
I'm 12. I'm 12, 15 pounds away still.
It's like a
You ever seen a rash guard with a hood?
that
Damn.
one?
It's like choking him.
It's like this.
Yeah, the rash guard.
Yeah, it's
It's for the grown and sexy. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
but
that's how some of my earlier Reebok ones be fit me when I'm large velour. The tops.
Yeah.
I'll put them things on and be like,
oh god.
oh.
Reebok actually had some cool kits. Venom has cooler kits though.
Venom
I
has
think
cooler kids.
They're
didn't
putting
like the
more
Reebok
into like the look.
I just didn't like the way they fit, and I didn't like the pants at all. Like the
pants
The
are
were
stupid.
Reebok
so
ones
whack.
kind of look like you were going to a tennis tournament.
Yes.
A little, you know what I mean? Like,
or a sleepover. You know what I mean? They were hella like baggy, like yeah, I didn't like those at all.
I don't think I ever got those.
Those
I
are
only got the
pajamas.
like tight joggers. I'm like,
For the
these are
Reebok ones?
Yeah, these are stupid.
Yeah, no, I got the.
I'm not a big fan of tight, especially like
Not
joggers,
joggers.
Or sweats.
I
I
think
like
the
joggers.
only pair of joggers I think I have really that are borderline would be the Lululemon ones,
Mm.
and those are nice. Those are nice. Look at him.
Lulu all
Look
the
at him.
way.
He's already gonna
He's a
say
hater?
something stupid.
He's a
yeah.
hater?
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
Mike was a hater too.
I was too till I got.
Hey,
like,
then I put it. He put them joints on, and that was it. That's all it takes.
It'll change your life.
Like those gray sweatpants of mine.
Yeah. Go. It'll change your life.
Dude, I have a pair of Nike.
Or he had a pair of Nike.
No, I still have them. They're upstairs. Nike Thermalife, like fleece pants from Nike. Oh, my favorite pants in the whole world. Can't find. They're not anywhere.
Oh no,
You can't ever find them. I've looked so many places.
It's because he lost the
He keeps
core.
bringing them back to the same place to like fix them and shit.
No, the string came out of the waist though.
Oh, that's a problem.
And when you're chunky, you got to tie that waist.
So
I don't know what happens because I never had droopy drawers in my life.
now you have them.
At about 210,
Got them.
all of a sudden my pants, when I walk, they start jogging down on me a little bit. And I'm like, when did this start happening? Now I'm like tying it up. Now I got the Dunlop because I tied my pants too tight.
Your ass probably fell off, is what happened. Huh?
No, my ass is big
That's
now. It's full.
The ass be holding them shorts up. You know what I mean? Shit went like this.
So we haven't even really introduced Vellore.
But
He's got a pretty
he's had
cool-
2 adrenaline fueled careers.
two military.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
That's the first one. And thank you.
Which
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was an
which-
honor. It was an honor.
I don't know how much more adrenaline fueled that you could be
Yeah, that was
in, in live
yeah.
action. You know what I mean?
Nothing's ever.
He could have been in like the National Guard.
Oh, stop.
That's not like
Stop.
adrenaline fuel.
Nah, man. I did the thing. Went downrange with the bullets flying.
See,
When he told me he said when he first got there or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I got it. And then he said the first ship popped up. He's like, he went running. He's like,
I ain't got this no more.
No, you know, it's
I'm
funny.
trying to get home.
Mike mentioned that, you know, we kind of might talk about, you know, having that one adrenaline,
Yeah.
you know, career, and then how I transitioned to MMA. And honestly, like a big piece of it was kind of getting in combat, you know, with all this training and everything, young, strong, and feeling like I was going to be fucking Rambo or whatever. And then realizing that that was like not the case. Like, you know, I was like, damn, I am not as tough as I thought I was, you know.
Or I'm not as hungry to eat bullets.
Right. Well, even not that. I think everybody kind of has that a little bit. But, you know, for me, you know, everybody talks about like the sheepdogs and, you know, these special individuals that like, man, when the shit hits the fan, you know, they just run right towards it and whatever, you know, and I thought that I would be
You
like
thought you were that guy right
yeah,
there.
I was like, I am him, you know, and then the bullets started flying and I was just like, you know, froze, man.
You're like,
Like,
who got the shovel? Let's dig this shit a little bit deeper.
yeah, I was like, whoa, what is going on? This is for real. So yeah, just kind of, you know, And then not only that, but too, I think not only did I have a unrealistic thought about it for myself, but I think I thought I could judge it in people too. You know, like I'd be like, oh, that guy's gonna be
That guy's got
hard,
it.
and
That
like,
guy's
that guy
gonna
doesn't.
run. Yeah.
And man, you know, getting over there and just realizing that, man, I couldn't have been more wrong about some of the folks. You know, like some people, I'm like, oh, he's definitely the hardcore soldier, and then shit would happen, and they would go running the other way.
You couldn't even see him for like a day.
And then I had buddies who, you know, like a really good friend of mine, you know, Jake Deacon, who was just, for lack of a better word, like just not physically imposing, you know, like nerdy kind of guy, real smart, whatever. And like this dude was like Rambo over there. You know what I mean? Like, man, not just, no, he's smart. He's really intelligent. So it wasn't about him not giving a shit. It was just, you know, that sheepdog thing. Like stuff would go down and he'd go running, you know, and go do his thing. So just, you know, for me, that transition, I think a lot of it came about like, man, what can I do, or what do I enjoy that might help me to like strengthen that part of myself, you know, so that I can be a little more, at least able, you know, to dive in, I guess, you know, jump into the fire a little bit. And I think that's why MMA made so much sense, you know, that, and I think I kind of used it as a therapy a little bit. And I don't say that like it's a good thing, because it wasn't. You know, in retrospect, I think I probably should have had some more real therapy. But, you know, there was a lot of therapeutic things about fighting and training and stuff like that helped out a lot coming back from combat. So, you know, that's why those things kind of made sense.
Was the transition when you came back, because, you know, you're in combat and every day is intense.
Yeah.
Even on days that nothing really happens, you're still like waiting for something to happen.
Right.
When you came home and then you started to transition, did you feel that it was easier to compete because you had seen like you knew things were, the opportunity for things to go left were way more apparent there?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no, right? Like I definitely think like there was an aspect of like, man, I've been in combat. But honestly, man, if I can be honest, at least my experience in combat, like I feel that fighting was almost harder than that in some ways, right? At least
Really?
because like I said, my experience in combat, most of the time when bullets were flying or shit would blow up or whatever, it was very like singular, you know, like a big explosion would happen and like that would be it. Or,
right,
you know, because they'd blow some shit up and run off.
Or you knew you were going on a convoy that could possibly.
Or we, you know, so it was like, but whereas like fighting, I feel like in a lot of ways, you know, it's so personal. You know, and again, like I said, I never saw, other than like one person, I think that was involved in like shooting at us or something like that. I never saw those people, you know, like the bullets would fly and then it was like, we're like, where are they at? You know, like kind of a deal.
Which direction?
Right. You know, or like, boom, like,
shit.
You know, what happened? But in fighting, it's like very personal, very, you know, that chip on your shoulder of like, 8 weeks from now, I got to go fight this person or whatever. Like in a lot of ways, that was more difficult for me to overcome, I think. You know, I adjusted in both situations. Like I figured out how to be a productive soldier in combat. And I think by the end of it, I figured out how to show up in my fights, you know, and at least like be there and be present. But yeah, fighting in a lot of ways was more difficult for me as far as that piece goes. You know what I mean? Like trying to overcome, I guess, you know, that sort of adversity.
Like getting out of your own way.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way of saying it. Yeah, because I think I was a little too cerebral about it at times, you know. I think I would just kind of get too wrapped up in the thought of it instead of the doing, you know. And that's why that's one of the big things for me as a coach now.
I'm glad I was never that smart.
But you know what, man, I see this with a lot of fighters, especially, you know. I think like the more you learn, the more you fill your head up with like knowledge about this stuff, it almost like becomes a negative thing. You know what I mean? Where you're unable to release yourself from that like mental process. And it's like, man, if you're thinking in a fight, a lot of times you're too slow.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of have to be responding and acting
on
what's in front of us, you know?
For me, through jiu-jitsu and into my fight career, I know there's like 4 things that I'm really good at.
Mm-hmm.
And so I trained those things to where they became just natural response.
Sure.
And I never tried to get fancy because I knew that once I got in my own head and thought, that it would be it would be a terrible situation for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, that's
And I
the
still
case
to
with a
this
lot of
day
people.
with jujitsu, I'm very ABC jujitsu.
Yeah.
I'm not fancy.
I used to like the fancy stuff. I think most of the lack of that mentality and even physicality in my game now is more of a product of me getting older
Right.
than it is my mind. Like I love that stuff. I think it's really cool to see the young, flashy, especially specifically in jiu-jitsu guys that are doing the real dynamic movements and things
Yeah.
like that. But it's like, I mean, for me now at my age, I'm like,
Nope.
invert? Nah. Berimbolo? No. Like you said, ABC, keep it real simple. And a lot of my game, I think at this point is like tailored around keeping me safe.
Right.
It's
I know station to station jujitsu
Sure,
really well,
sure, yeah.
where I'm never putting any part of me in like ultimate danger.
Yeah.
Someone catches something on you, they catch it.
Sure.
And all these damn ass young fucking leg lockers kick them all in the face.
I like the legs.
But I watch because I just did commentary for the CJJC
Right.
in Aurora.
Yeah.
And just watching the dynamic of jiu-jitsu and how it's changed even over the last 5 years, 6
Yeah,
years
quite
is
a bit.
amazing.
Yeah. Making some real
you still
money
get
now.
and you still get some high-level wrestlers that can just dominate things.
Sure, yeah.
But it's so much fewer and far between because these kids.
But I feel like, I don't like that part, where, like you said, because to me, the reason why you have the high level wrestlers and stuff that can come in and dominate is because that shit makes sense. It's like, oh, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 weeks, and then they go and, really bang with some high level jiu-jitsu person. I worry sometimes about how jiu-jitsu is combating those things like the strong wrestlers and stuff like that, because it is a lot of these inversions and whatever. And I think it in some ways it goes against like the point, I guess, of like why at least the form of jiu-jitsu that we all became comfortable and aware of came from, which is combat. Like, you fighting somebody else and like you being able to keep them from hitting you and stuff like that. And a lot of the sport jiu-jitsu, as beautiful as it is, and I do enjoy it, I think it kind of spits in the face of that, guys sitting guard and stuff like that. It's like, what?
See,
like,
I'm the opposite. I hate sport jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I think it's impractical. I think it's boring.
Yeah.
I think it gives people a false sense of ability as far as in the real world.
Yeah. And like I said, we're saying the same thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, you go invert on me, I'm going to punch you in the head,
Yeah.
Stomp on your face.
That's just,
Yeah.
I think, there's a place for it. I guess jiu-jitsu in its purest form, there is a place for it. And that's why they have those tournaments.
It's keeping it fun. We do things that we enjoy, right? Like, man, I'm sitting here and I'm saying what I'm saying, right? And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think from a martial standpoint, the inversions and, it's like, it's kind of silly because I'd stomp on your face or punch your lights out or whatever, right? But I say that, and I probably inverted about 23 times right before I came over here in training earlier. And it's because that some of that shit is fun.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like it's,
but mostly I'm salty because I'm jealous. Because my game has never allowed me to be that kind of guy.
Right.
I wrestled my whole life from when I was little all the way through.
Sure.
My jiu-jitsu game is very top-sided,
Good.
very pressure. And it always came from a point of putting me in a position where I could punch downhill.
Yeah. I love that.
But I roll with Howie Spratt and he fucking spins around like a top and he's upside down and he's moving. And I'm like, just come here. And I'm trying to
still. Yeah.
Put him down.
Yeah.
And I love grappling rounds with him because he knows that I am a station to station guy. And so he'll move in ways that force me outside of that.
Yeah.
And that's great. And I love it for training with a friend.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we'll put small gloves on and he'll attempt to do the same thing. And
Punch City.
It's game over.
Sure.
It's just not there.
Yeah.
I guess it's two veins, right? It's you either want to train jiu-jitsu purely for the workout and the beauty and the
fun,
art, and knowing that probably at Walmart, if a guy lips off, you could probably handle that situation.
Sure. Yeah.
Or you train jiu-jitsu as part of a combat sport and you look at it from the other side of it, like the polar opposite
We're gonna
of
fight. Yeah.
how can I put myself in a position to hurt this person?
Yes. And, you know, as a coach, I think that's two very big, you know, different things for me. You know, I taught a lot of big classes and stuff for a long time. And, you know, the average focus of the person in the room was just, like you said, like the camaraderie, the community, like things like that. And that totally made sense to keep it fun and light and playful and play with all these different things. But man, with the fighters, like you know, and it's funny. Like I think about the difference between me as that coach and the difference between me and the fighters, and it's day and night. Like with the sport jiu-jitsu person, I'm like, you know, yeah, Berimbolo and you know, the backflip pass and whatever else. But yeah, with the fighters, it's like, man, there's 5 things we need to worry about, and that's it. You know, like it's not, and it's not sexy. It's not super fun. It's not, you know, it's not always the most engaging. But the truth of the matter is, it's like it's these things that are going to win or lose us the fight. Right. If we're focused on these things and our attention is always focused in the right place, we can be successful in those moments. But if we go off on all this tangent of like this crazy armbar and that crazy whatever, like that shit's fun. And you know, if they want to do it, I'm down. Too many
steps.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I'm just not a big fan for the fighters.
Yeah, getting punched in the face while trying to like be really crafty is not.
Well, and it's moves, right? It's like, I don't want the fighters doing moves. I think the jiu-jitsu guys can do moves because what's the penalty, right? Like if I try a move on you and it doesn't work in a jiu-jitsu match, what's the penalty?
I'm just in a bad spot that I got to work out of.
Or you tap me, like, oh, cool. You know, but like for the fighters, it's like if you mess up, paycheck, cave your face in too on top of that, right? Not only your paycheck and your livelihood, but you know, the elbows and knees. And it's like a whole different game, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's very crazy. And I mean, just trying to understand how to coach people coming from different, you know, backgrounds in, especially, I mean, striking is striking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's fucking insane striking coaches, you know, there's things that you can learn.
Yeah.
But striking is striking. But jiu-jitsu, if you get someone that comes in from sport jiu-jitsu and you're trying to convert them and understand how to train as a fighter, that has to be probably one of the hardest processes to get them to understand.
Man, I think you just described like my whole frustration as a coach, like period. And it's not just like sport jiu-jitsu to like fighting jiu-jitsu. I think it's any attractors that people develop, you know, like because of how they've done it forever or because of their natural, you know, ability to do this one thing well or whatever. Getting people to change what they've done already is like, man, I feel like that's like 80% for us as coaches, especially the people that come to us and really haven't had that, like, you know, constant development with us, like from the beginning, right? And obviously everybody has their own view of what's good and what's
every
not,
camp has their own. Yeah.
But for me, I find like the hardest part about it for me is like getting people to see, like, first of all, like, look, you do this thing all the time and like that's not good, you know, even if it's good, like it works for you all the time. Because I'm always thinking about it from a standpoint of, well, if I watch the film and I see that you do that every time, like I'm just gonna work on it.
I'm just gonna stop
and we prove it because like I do that that's most of what I do with my fighters for their fights. Specifically for that opponent is we identify
this is what they do on the ground.
And then we kill it and then they kill it in the fight, right? I mean, you've seen it, Mike. So it's like that we can't have that as a coach, and it's hard. It's hard to get them to change, especially if they have a habit that they just love and they're in love with it. It's like how do I get you to stop doing this thing?
Right, and it's like fighters that at a lower level of competition have so much success. And they come into it with, but
this works every time.
I win.
Yeah,
I win. I'm this, I do that. Well, then you're trying to get them to this next level where everybody can do that. Everybody can defend that. Everybody, you know, just because, you know, you're the smartest kid in kindergarten doesn't mean.
I will say this. I will shut my mouth and take it all back if they can do it to the best person in the room, like repeatedly.
At that point, then they are outside of the normal parameters of what it is.
But when you're in a good room, it's hard to do that to the best person in the room.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if it's a move, like if it's a thing like oh, I do this in that situation.
I catch people in this and this is what I do.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, like that's at a high level.
Well, then you just take your wet blanket and go, hey, can you just like smother this out of them for the next couple days.
That's one thing I think it is helpful for fighters, like especially if I can show them on video, like on tape, like look, you do this thing every time when that happens or whatever. Like that helps a lot. A lot of times they'll be like, oh damn, you're right. Because again, it's at that level that's what we're doing, right? It's the game plan. Right. It's all these different things, and so you've got to get them to buy in that, like, hey man, we need to change. Those we have to evolve. We can't be the same fighter.
Especially the people that come to us that have skills.
Right.
That's harder for, like, it's easy to get somebody that's
athletic and trying.
You could get them buying in, but when they're already somewhat
or when they came out of a different camp.
That
was very this way, and you're kind of more over here, and you're like, I understand. You have this, the base you have is great, and I love it.
Yeah.
But let's mix some of this in, and trying to get them to buy in is probably got to be as close to impossible as it gets.
Especially if fighters are pretty strong-willed, a lot of them, and getting them to see that is tough. Plus, I think, at least for me, I've experienced this. I think, whenever I have a new fighter come in, there's always this sort of kind of like, similar to relationship, I guess, like the honeymoon period where everything you're showing them is just wowing their mind and everything is great. I like to compare it to like, chiseling a big piece of stone or whatever, like
getting the big pieces off.
Yeah. You're knocking these big pieces off and they're like, oh yes, this is dope. And then now when you get down to those finer spots and you're making tiny little adjustments, it's like they get bored almost. It's like, I'm restless,
and
it's like, but it's like, man, have we though? Can you do it to everybody in the room yet? Like consistently? Because if not, we still
can you do it to me right now?
Yeah, right now. Like hold me down forever, or finish me with the submission or ground and pound, whatever it is we're working on. And it's a challenge.
It's crazy because back in the day, even as back as when I was fighting, it was so easy to be either a stand-up fighter or a jiu-jitsu based ground fighter.
Right.
And when your stand-up fighters came into camp, all you worked on was, if they get taken down, teaching them how to just get up and back to their feet and don't spend any time on the ground. And your ground-based fighters, all you're working on is how can you get a hold of somebody to drag them down where you want them. Mm-hmm. Now, if you attempted to do that in today's combat sports world, you've just probably signed someone's death warrant, because they're not, if you can't play everywhere now, and that has to be for you guys, probably some of the hardest part of it all is,
I don't know, man.
You can see someone who's a great striker and you know that they're a great striker and you're like, wow, man, they're really, and then you see their ground game is garbage and they're trying to get signed to, what the UFC or Bellator, Bellator, PFL.
Sure.
And if they have no aspirations, the GFL. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Yeah, I did.
We talking about fairy tales now?
But it's so hard. It's got to be difficult for you guys to go, hey, that's great, and I love that, and I think that's that's you probably have the ability to maybe get there. Mm-hmm. But how do you guys enter that conversation where you go, but your ground game is garbage, and we need to start from zero?
Man, it's great for me because I think it's really easy in jiu-jitsu because I just put them in a spot. Not necessarily me, right? Because I don't necessarily always have the physical capability to beat these guys up anymore. But, put them in a spot and it's like, all right, can you get up from this guy? And if the answer is no, I mean, it's like, it's right there in front of you. So it's kind of hard to deny that in that moment, right? It's like, oh, damn, I just got rode like Seabiscuit for 17 minutes.
At that point, you just hope that their mind is open enough to accept, huh?
Or we just keep doing it over and over. I get that, I'm kind of a bang my head 4 or 5 times up against the wall kind of person before I get it. So when I see that stubbornness, I'm just like, well, you're going to, because
it's gonna hurt.
Well, and you check in. It's like you do a session like that. You're watching. You're like, damn, you just got held down for 12 minutes straight. And then you ask them. It's like, hey, how was that? And if they're like, man, it was great. Then I'm like, oh my god, this guy has no idea. Like you paying attention? Like you just got your shit pushed in. For like a long time. So
they remember that 1 second of a flash that they had.
But as long as they're remotely introspective, they're gonna see. It's like, damn, because I'll put it to them like that right before, like, hey, we're gonna watch the timer. And think about it like riding time. You got 5 minutes. If this dude holds you down right now for 4.5 minutes, like, you suck. Like,
you did not win any part of the...
So let's ready, go. And it's like, and then if it happens, they're like, damn, and it really forces them to kind of like, oh shit, I don't know that you get the same ability with striking because they can't just go busting each other.
No, they
upside
just can't.
down.
Yeah, it's more. That's hard. The hard striking is harder than the jiu-jitsu because, like he said, you could at least get somebody, hold somebody,
Right.
And if you get tapped, most times, like as long as
They're going to let go.
yeah,
It's not a big deal.
And if you're in a room of people that are like top notch fighters, you're not trying to break your teammate's arm.
And I think it's easier to be excited about striking than jiu-jitsu or grappling or whatever, jiu-jitsu wrestling, because most times it is boring. And when you're learning those skills, it's a lot more. You get bored quick. Like,
Right.
this is stupid. Striking, you can work on the jab. You can move around, boom, 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 and make it look a certain way for yourself.
Feel a certain
How come
way.
you never made it
versus-
look a certain way for me?
Because you don't do it, and then it's just garbage out there. It's like, well, so yeah.
There you go.
But for the most part, like Vellore always says, like it's not sexy. It's probably going to be boring for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, there's fun, and then there's.
Do you want to win or do you want to have fun?
Yeah, you want to look good and have a good time, or do you want to grind it out and do the?
Do you want 2 paychecks or one?
Yeah. Do you want to do the hard
Yeah.
work, the trenches work, and really really build yourself, or do you want to just come in and feel good about it?
Do you guys feel like you have issues where, because you guys are very sought after right now, especially in this area, as far as, like that collection of coaches that you guys are.
Sure.
We have a lot of high caliber fighters in Colorado right now.
Yeah.
Do you guys have to deal with like fighters coming in, seeking you out, saying, "Hey, I want to work with you," and then like mentally they're not trying to receive; they want to do it their way still?
No, I've never met a fighter that's like that. What are you talking about?
I just like, for me, I'm like,
I think
if
that's
you're
part
gonna
of-
if you're
that's
gonna
part
go
of it.
get
Yeah.
if you're gonna go get one of the best coaches out there, how do you not just leave all your shit at the door and go, I obviously seek this person out because I need them.
That would be ideal. But if I really had to, and again, I really do feel.
I'm not trying to put you in a spot.
No. Like I said, I really am genuinely humble about my contribution to these fighters things. But I guess, like, for people who would say that I'm a good coach, I think part of that is being able to meet people where they're at. You know what I mean? So like, and I know Mike is really good at this as well. It's not. Because it's not, there's a whole human being, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I know for a lot of coaches that I've experienced over the years, some that I've had myself, some that I've just witnessed, is a very like dictatorship type of relationship.
My way.
Like, yeah, I'm the coach, shut the fuck up, like do what I say, And like for me, it's never really been that kind of thing. I don't really, I always consider myself a little bit of a consultant. And so then I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who you are, like how do I coach this person? And with this person, I might need to be in their ass a little bit more. And with this person, maybe I gotta,
be more of a friend.
Yeah, give it, so it's all different. And you know what I'm saying, right, Mike?
No, yeah, and I think that the thing that makes, I think working with like Vellore and working with Vellore, working with Banks, and working like us three is like we're on the same page most times. 2, we have very different ways of approaching one athlete. Like sometimes I'm just sometimes I'm just an asshole, right? Most times. Vellore, super nice and super like understanding and like trying to like figure out the best way or whatever. Banks, nothing's ever good enough. Right. So like,
Nice try.
But
Try
but
it.
all that, but I think it is a nice combination though, because like we've enjoyed a lot of success together with the three of us, and I think a lot of that comes down to like each person's individual
Well,
contribution.
and you guys as a team at that point can kind of figure out who needs to talk to the athlete in that, sometimes it's coaching and then you just have to do your part and let the other coach that can work with
I like
them.
working with those two because I get to be the
nice
polishing.
guy.
I get to be the polishing person because I have some athletes that I'm not nice with all the time. I can be abrasive when I need to be. But yeah, working with those two, like they usually got that part covered. So the abrasive is so I can come behind and polish up.
You're like, no.
Polish up.
Oh, see if we have a question. Perfect time to do a question.
Click the join button
If you're fast
now
enough, put a number
to
up.
become a member and gain access to all the behind-the-scenes footage, including our hilarious outtakes. Join us weekly for our members-only live podcast, but only when you click that join button.
24. All right, here we go. Hurry. What is your favorite documentary or biography? Oh, that one's hard for me.
Oh, you watch a lot of documentaries.
Gosh. Oh man, that one's so hard. I don't know about any.
Dude, you know what's going to be bad?
What?
I don't remember a title to a documentary I've watched.
What was it about?
I don't. Like I've watched like
First 48. Yours is First 48.
is that a documentary? Because I've watched all of them.
I mean, what is it?
Yes. It's a drama it's a documentary because it's real world.
I can't pick one. I can't.
What would be your subject matter?
Oh man. Something with like old history. I like watching like old like in American Indian stuff or like a lot of like old Western stuff. Like
Wild West stuff to me.
Like if I had to pick a subject that I love watching like the old Wild West like outlaws. Like they're some of my favorites. Like they're just to me they're just so cool because they're like.
So now we're gonna say God rest Val Kilmer.
Oh, he's
the greatest Doc Holliday who ever lived.
Yeah, but like those guys are what made really like we're not following the rules. We're gonna do it this way, and we're going this way, and and I just really
like ready to die every day.
Every day, wake up ready to die.
Yeah,
go to bed ready to So those
I got to find it somewhere. I don't know where, and it's probably lost forever because I'm not really good at hanging on to things. I have tombstone rubbings from a bunch of. Like Doc Holliday.
Yeah. Those are my favorite. Like
I have tombstone rubbings of a lot of those guys where they just take a piece of paper and charcoal and you can see the whole thing.
What's your favorite?
I have never heard that.
What?
Tombstone rubbings of what? What are we talking about here?
So the question was because we did a question while you were in the bathroom.
Okay.
And it was what is your favorite documentary or biography? And I told, but like his was, what did you say? Spider-Man? What did you say?
That's a documentary. Right?
Dang, that's a good one. Favorite documentary?
Avengers?
Stop.
Civil War? It's a Civil War documentary.
Is it?
Avengers, Civil War.
God,
it is?
I tend to like the war ones, I think.
Yeah.
Like I like the ones about like the heroic things that people did, like those extra special Medal of Honor type.
Yeah.
That one Medal of Honor recipient joined back in.
Just recently.
Dakota or whatever, something.
Really?
Something, yeah.
Like lost a leg or something like.
I don't know. His name was Dakota.
That was Cuba
Dakota.
Gooding Jr. Different movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that anything with the Wild West Outlaws is my.
Dude, I
don't have a favorite documentary.
I've done it I drove all the way to Tombstone.
To do what?
Just to see it.
The OK Corral?
Yeah.
I want to go.
That's pretty much,
Yes, I do.
pretty much all you watch, huh?
I love
documentaries.
Always.
Here's the thing. I want you to go.
I want to go.
No, I want you to go.
You're like one of those people that just want to ruin everybody's fun.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No, that's not it.
What does he want you to go
I'm
for?
looking out for you because I went.
Because he wants to be that he went and I didn't.
No,
that's what it is.
No. Tombstone, Arizona, where the OK Corral was.
Mm-hmm.
I went there and we drove all the way to fucking Tombstone because I love the Wild West. I love it.
Tombstone. Where is Tombstone?
It's
Arizona.
It's south.
Isn't that pretty close to the border?
It's in Arizona.
Yeah, it's south of Tucson.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I went there and I was like, oh, this is going to be the great. I've been so excited. Like, I can't wait to go. We pulled in. I was never more disappointed in my entire life.
Well,
Really?
did you think it was going to be 700 acres and they're over there doing a firefight?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I didn't think it was going to be this sprawled out thing. I knew it was going to be. It was so tourist commercialized.
But that's
That
everything.
it became like
That's everything.
It had no value in seeing it because it was so turned.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean though. I remember going to like Machu Picchu, or not Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza in Mexico, and it's one of the UNESCO world sites and all this stuff. And I was like so reverent on my way there. Like, this is going to be so special. And then we got there and it was just lined with vendors and like all this stuff. And it just completely took away from the experience.
And it'd be different if it's going to be touristy.
Yeah.
But this was like really bad, like really shitty, like figures of people standing in the OK Corral that like part of one of their hands was broken off.
So
and
did you put the money in the donation box so they could fix it? Or did you just pass
Just
that
talk
up?
shit and then leave.
No, I wanted
This
to
place sucks.
I just wanted to drive through it in my Tahoe and just knock everything down and tell them they ruined it.
Yeah.
But it was like that's the reason why it was such a letdown is because it's so like they're not even trying.
I do want to go to take a drive to Lincoln County in New Mexico where they killed Billy the Kid.
You're gonna find them.
Nope.
Man, to me that's like listen.
But hold
on. Some of those places, to me, that's the same as camping.
No.
It's like, why are we doing this? Like, no, but I'm saying like, no, hold on. Again, having been to a lot of these, like, Martin Luther King marched here and this, and it's like, man, the history of that is dope. But like the place itself, you're just like, oh, okay, cool. It's this street.
This is exactly it. Like we talked about not long ago.
What?
You want to go to the Grand Canyon? I hope
went.
you plan like 50 other things to do because you get to the Grand Canyon, you get out of your car, you walk out on that little jettison that sticks out, and you go, that's a fucking deep hole.
Cool.
You guys want to get some lunch?
Well, yeah, I would never.
And that's how long it
like,
takes. Like that's it. It'd be
Unless,
different.
unless you
That's
hike
like
it. Unless you hike it. Yeah.
Oh, he's not gonna hike nothing. Don't.
I've done some hiking.
When?
Unless you hike it. If you hike it, then it's probably a really
I've
cool
hiked.
Well, they
experience.
say down there it's pretty cool when you hike it, but you gotta spend the night because there's waterfalls and there's.
See, I would
other
rather
shit
go.
down
I was
there.
telling you, I'd rather go to Havasu and hike those, like the sand caverns that are in there.
Right. Okay.
No, you're not gonna do that.
The bottom of the Grand Canyon just looks the same as the top.
You've been to the bottom?
I've seen it.
I mean, I've never been down there,
there's cameras.
I've been told that from the bottom looking up is a much more awe-inspiring
Also,
experience.
only worth 5 minutes of your time because you can only be awe-inspired by looking up at it so many times before you're like.
Not unless you
still
want to
cool.
go like hiking through it, because then I think that's probably a different.
But you're not going to
experience.
see anything new at that point.
You might.
Like once you've seen it from the bottom and you're like, wow, this is intense. 5 miles up. Guess what? Same
what?
fucking
Maybe-
view.
oh,
Same view.
Maybe they'll find maybe you'll find some dinosaur bones down there then.
Do you want to know something about Mike?
What's that?
Mike doesn't believe that dinosaurs actually ever existed.
No. That's a true statement.
What?
No.
So what are the bones and stuff?
They're fake.
They're fake.
They're fake.
Everything's fake. I'm gonna take him to Dinosaur Ridge over
Whoa.
on 470.
Wait, so all the bones
Everything
and everything
fake.
that they have,
Fake.
and the whole history of that is fake. Why?
And the last
Why though? Why would they do this?
But what? Yeah,
Okay,
why? What's
wait,
the?
wait, I'm gonna ask a question though.
Uh-huh.
Do you believe in dinosaurs, Vellore?
Of course.
Do you believe in they
He's,
existed?
you know why?
of
Because
course,
he's an
'cause
intelligent
I'm a
human.
scientist. I'm a scientist.
So we got what? Rocky? No.
Rocky.
Johnson? No. He didn't believe in dinosaurs.
Yeah, but he also believes the Earth is flat.
Yeah. Caleb?
Also
No.
believes the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
What about
that's true.
your friend Jody?
So Caleb
She
didn't.
believes in dinosaurs.
No, she doesn't.
Caleb didn't
Yes, she
believe either.
does.
No, she didn't.
She was laughing at you.
I don't believe that.
Wait, Caleb didn't believe either.
No.
Why does that not surprise me?
I don't believe. No, that's just fake.
Dude, we're like less than a month away from Mike believing that the Earth is flat.
Wow.
I don't know.
You're undecided. Huh?
I believe that we've never been to space.
What about Katy
What?
Perry? She was just there.
No,
That's wild.
I'm sure. Did you see Jeff Bezos fall when he tried to get his old lady out?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Did you not see that rocket?
didn't see that
No.
Bezos sent like 5 ladies up: Laura Sanchez, Katy Perry, Gail King.
And
Oh, I
his
saw
wife.
that Katy Perry went, but I didn't realize that was.
It was like
part of that
it was a
whole-
girls' day.
Stop.
Yeah.
Girls' night.
Yeah.
Let's go to space. Hey, what kind of stupid fuck you money do you have to do that?
That kind?
Bezos,
Wow.
Bezos money.
Holy
Where you
cow.
can turn to your husband and go, "Honey, we want to take the rocket to space tonight." And he's like,
Okay.
"Okay, but don't wreck it this time."
Don't die. Don't blow up.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
But what if you
What?
found dinosaur bones? Then it would be really cool that you went to the Grand Canyon and hiked down there and started dragging up a leg,
That's crazy.
a femur bone.
Mike, you're truly like one of my very best friends in the whole entire world.
And what
And
happened?
at the same time,
You think I'm just dumb?
at the same time,
Damn.
I want to get you checked for an extra chromosome.
Nope. I'm not. I'm going to stick with my story.
You know what? I'm
No dinosaurs.
It doesn't surprise me though. Like I know Mike for a while and I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I do know that like he's pretty like strong in his opinions about stuff.
Even if it's wrong.
Well, hold on now.
He'll ride that opinion all the way to the grave.
But here's the one thing. Like,
You could prove that we could go and dig up a dinosaur together and he'd be like, planted.
oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
clearly. But
Well,
I mean, when you say like so you know there was dinosaurs.
He's guessing.
Well,
You're guessing.
And see, that's all
I
I'm
come
saying,
from
right?
a
It's like-
scientific mind frame
as do I.
where
So I'm with you.
multiple places around the world, not just like there's only one place where dinosaurs were. Let's
Right.
put them all there so we can fake it.
Yeah.
There's no benefit in faking dinosaurs.
Hmm.
There's no benefit. Like they're saying that
Yeah,
that
that's
the
a good question. That's why I said why. Like, why would they
Like
do it?
flat Earth. They're saying they're trying to make the argument that that there's an argument that one world government has come together to perpetrate the lie of a globe Earth forever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but why?
Yeah, yeah.
Why? Yeah.
But why? I mean, what does it do? Like, and they act like the problem is they act like we as people could not wrap our head around it if it were true. And I'm like, well, they just fucking told us they were aliens. And you know what people
No,
did?
they said they're UFOs.
But you know what people did? They went, yeah.
Yeah.
So if right now they could go, all right, guys,
It's flat.
we would all just go,
There's a big flashlight over there. That's the sun or whatever, right? Like, I don't know, whatever those. Where
So-
you at on the flat Earth thing, Mike? You flat Earth?
he doesn't know.
I don't. See, here's why I'm not sold on the flat Earth.
Okay.
I'm not no expert, but
I'm not no expert.
But if the
Clip that.
tide,
Well said.
but if the ocean and the tide changes at the day and night and stuff, why does it do that if it's not rotating? Like the ball's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm. If you can tell me why,
Well, the tides are from the gravitational pull of the moon, mostly, but
there's no gravity, they say.
right, only density.
So that's what they tell us.
The who? What?
Rocky.
Right? So I don't know.
There's no gravity, only density. Okay. Cool. I find all that stuff super interesting though. Whether I agree or disagree, I think it's so funny that it's just such a symptom of what we've evolved into as a society, right? Like some good, some bad, but it's like
I just
you
don't
can think whatever
understand.
the hell you want
Like,
now.
I have a hard time understanding why it would be necessary to perpetuate a lie
So
that we've become so much more advanced as a life form
I'm
that
still
we can
on the
just
Earth
prove
is
it
round.
easy.
I'm still
Oh,
on the
good.
Earth
Thank
is
you.
round, right?
Thank
Team
you.
Earth is round.
Yeah, but
no
and here's why.
dinosaurs.
No dinosaurs.
Dinosaurless round Earth.
No, there's no dinosaurs. There's none.
Mhm.
But
So you don't believe there was ever any extinction level events or any of that killed the dinosaurs? None of that. None of that. It's
they just
No
started-
evolution
They
either?
just started
no
finding-
evolution either.
They just started raking up bones.
Was there an evolution that happened?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Like how did we become
God put us here.
just one like Adam and Eve? Boom, and that's the start.
That's my yep. I don't think.
So
yeah,
we're all cousins,
at least. Yeah,
even me and you.
you know that. We've already talked about that.
We're all cousins. We have not.
No, but and I don't understand why if we're a flat Earth, we're a book, but there's a ball here of a moon or a sun. Wouldn't that be a square too, or a triangle,
Circle.
or a circle?
It's a circle,
No, I don't know.
not a
I-
square. Has no beginning and no ending.
Maybe
it's a circle.
The flat one is a disc. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
They say it's a disc on.
It's a
what,
snow
pillars?
globe.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
And
because there's a firmament that goes over it. That's why we've never been to space, because whenever a rocket they've launched that gets it hits the firmament and blows
And
up.
supposedly-
that's why Elon's rockets keep blowing up. Because they're hitting the
And
firmament.
supposedly they've sent years ago they sent nukes and stuff.
Couldn't get through the
Couldn't
firmament.
get through for. And Antarctica roams around the whole thing.
Antarctica is around the outside of the pizza. It's like the pizza crust.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what.
And
we
that's
learned.
why they won't let anybody go down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the law, right? Is that what he said?
No, it's a treaty, right?
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah,
like,
it's a
but
pact.
like, a pact where all these countries have, nobody can go there.
Yeah. So
But you also cannot circumnavigate the earth from north to south. Only from east to west.
Okay.
No one's ever been able to take off and just go due south and end up back where they were.
Really? Is that a fact? According to the flat earth, I don't know.
according to the flat Earth, it's a fact.
Huh. Very interesting.
And the sun goes in that way, right? Circle.
Yeah, so the Earth is like it's a snow globe, and the moon and the sun are inside the snow globe, not out here.
Isn't
They're
this the
inside.
fun part though of life, like where everybody
They're-
thinks differently? I know. I enjoy these types of debates with people when they have a strong feeling about something that's counter to something I feel.
Oh no, that's why we have people in.
Yeah,
Because,
it's
we're
hilarious,
all
right?
about having conversations.
Yeah. It's
You know,
hilarious,
we're never trying to like yuck somebody's yum.
No.
You know,
See, that's why I
what you
couldn't do this. That's why I couldn't do this. I'd be fine on like most topics, but then there's like a few handful of things that I'm pretty stern on, and I'd be like,
Like what? Let's find them.
no,
Give me a topic.
no.
Let's find out if let's find out if we're on the same
No,
side of the
because
game.
you know what's funny is because like I guess I get a pretty good rep for being pretty open about people's ideas and stuff like that. But then there's some things that I'm like pretty hardcore about, and it always gets me in trouble. Like everybody close to me is like over it already, so I have to.
I need to know. I need to know at least one of these topics.
The current one that is grinding everybody's gears so much, and Mike already knows where I'm about to go with this, is my
Oh yeah.
my recent belief and change in like the way that we should be conducting like athletes training, specifically for skill acquisition for fighting.
Oh yeah. This is big.
Yeah, and so again, like I said, most things I'm pretty I see your point, and like don't get me wrong, on this one I can as well. I can definitely still see the value for the way that we've always done things, but in general, I think that when it comes to skill acquisition for combat sports, we should be switching to a more modern idea of what skill acquisition is in those areas. And so,
Not constant brain damage.
well, not that the idea of like rote repetition in order to build skills, right? So like I show you this move, you drill it 50 times, and then I feel like the real value or the real learning happens when we're doing it for real. And so why not just cut out as much of that rote repetition?
So let me show you, and then let me.
No, I'm going to show you
Play it out
and see what happens, right? Like so like I might you probably learned like I did the rote repetition way for most things, right? Like, oh, here's this move.
Mike's made me throw 7 million jabs. You know how many I threw in a fight? 2.
So
Didn't like either of them.
The idea being that like maybe I should just say, hey, touch the other person with your hand like this, for safety, right? To make sure you don't break your hand or whatever, and then let then see what develops as we do it. And then adjust, as opposed to like, this is how you throw the jab. You turn it over exactly like this, and then you step like this, and you know what I mean? Because people do it all sorts of ways, like some people really push out for their back foot and explode and have a lot of success with that. So, just kind of getting out of that idea that we have to, that the knowledge has to come before the learning, right? Like I have to come through with my, scroll in my bag of tricks and be like, all right, Trevor, let me bless you.
I'm giving you one,
Bam,
jab today. Right. You can have one jab.
Right. Versus like, creating the scenario for them to figure it out on their own and for them to learn a lot about it on their own. And that's been a big challenge for me because like I said, I feel pretty strongly about it. I read a lot about it. I try to learn a lot about it. And
I need to know
most people are still on the other thing. So
I need like one more level deep on it because I don't understand.
It looks to me, this is what it looks like. And I'm more on the side of Vellore. Like I think we've had this conversation about how like what we think it should look like. And I feel like it works because we're having success. But like if you, and this is just like a vision thing. Right. If you see Vellore's group, right? And we're going to say group because most times, it's in a group.
Small group setting.
Even if it's his one-on-one, but group setting of 4 or 5 people. Yeah. Then you see another coach, whoever that is, in another group. They're totally different classes. Right? But you're going to think Vellore's is an open mat versus a class.
Now, what are you doing? Are you putting them in situations? Are you saying, I want to work on your jab today,
Like choke defense, right? If
yeah, but again, it's going to be like more what happens as a result of me putting you in a situation, and then us.
Okay, so you're saying situational training to find out how to move.
I'll give you the terms in case you want to check it out later, right? But it's like ecological dynamics and constraints led approach, right? And like those are the frameworks that we work inside, and basically what it is saying that like the way people learn is more about their interaction with the environment, their task. Like, so like, what are we trying to get them to do? And, so it's the three pieces, like the athlete, the environment, and the task, right? Those three things is what causes the learning to emerge.
Right.
And that runs counter to the old school idea that like what causes the learning to emerge is me telling you what it is. Right. So, for me,
I think I agree with you.
So I give an example, like, if I want to learn them to learn the value of like holding 2-on-1 when somebody's trying to front headlock them, like somebody's got them in a front headlock, and I want them to really start focusing on opening the hands and putting two of their hands to control their hands so that now they can circle out or whatever. I just put them there. I go, hey, one person, you got a front headlock, but the other person, you're going to peel that thing open and hold it with two hands. Top person, your job is to hold them there as long as you can underneath.
Do not let them. Yeah.
Right. And then the other person, you got to get out. And it's like, what they find is they get out super easy. Like they just get out over and over again, like hella fast. And then I go, okay, now lock your hands again.
Just a little bit.
Sorry. I go, now lock your hands and do it. And it's like, oh, damn, that's way harder. And it's like, okay, well, so what did you learn from that? Oh, well, I should probably try to focus on getting 2-on-1 and opening their hands up. You know what I mean? So it's like doing that as opposed to going, okay, so you want to get the 2-on-1 and then peel their hand. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
you're not going to go step by step by step.
Because none of that means anything when we're.
And by the time we're at this level, I don't need to teach you the basics of movement. You should understand that. Yeah. I'm showing you.
Man, I think even with beginners, I really do. And I've seen it already.
I can attest to that because when I started jiu-jitsu, the first year, maybe year and a half, all I did was just end up on bottom, getting the shit kicked out of me.
Right.
And finding ways to survive.
Sure.
And survive a little bit more and then survive a little bit more. And then it became put myself there so that then I could reverse and move to a position I want to be in. And my bottom side jiu-jitsu, as far as not getting attacked, became really good.
Yeah.
Because I was there all the fucking time.
That time under tension, that's the most important thing.
And at that gym, no one was just going to let you up. Back in the day, no one was going to let you up. You just had to find it.
And I think it's more, you can have more controlled live training that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's where the constraints
situation.
Yeah. Because he'll Vellore do a good job, stop when it comes to whatever, stand up or whatever, and then you're done. And you redo it again or whatever.
You're on the bottom. This is the scenario. Yeah. If you get to here or they put you there, that's a hard stop. We reset.
Yeah, and I think one of the big thing that sets constraints-led approach apart from just like situational sparring is that a lot of times situational sparring is so vague. Right. And I used to do this a lot, and it is helpful. It was very, a lot of my people were really good doing that. But the difference is like situational sparring. I might be like, all right, half guard. Bottom person get up, top person, hold them down as long as you can, submit them, whatever. And we do rounds like that, but that's like the vaguest version of it. Where with the constraints-led approach now, a lot of what I'm constraining is like trying to get a very specific outcome without telling them exactly how to do it, right? So that one of the big tenets is repetition without repetition. Which again goes in the face of the traditional method, which is rote repetition, right? Like you repeat this this perfect thing over and over again. But how many times is it like that in a fight, right? Like when you go and you do, the other person gets a say, their body type, their strength, their flexibility, all these things. So
you don't send them a script and everybody.
So we just say, well, what are we trying to do? Okay, we're trying to put them on their hip. All right, well, let's do that over and over again, and we're going to fail a bunch of times, but there's going to be so much knowledge in the muddy parts. Versus us.
Well, the growth and failure.
Yes. Yeah. And everybody wants to skip that part, I think, and that's where the let me tell you how comes in, oh, well, here's how you do it. And it's like, man, if it was that easy, there'd be so many great coaches already,
you see it to this day still where you watch and I just use jiu-jitsu because I've coached a lot of it and we all have been there. we'll wrap up here in just a second for you.
Yeah, no worries.
But we've all watched the training go, all right, today we're going to work on whatever, back takes.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is it, A, B, C. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to take the back. We're going to do this, A, B, C. Do it all the same, all the same, all the same. Everyone's going to get 25 reps, switch, 25 reps. And then now we're going to do top, bottom, out from that position. Well, it's kind of silly because
Everybody was there for the class. So they all know. They're like, oh, he's going to try to do this. Hell no. Nah. You know?
Yeah. And even on top of it, they haven't been able to, like, I would rather just let them freeform train after that and explore the move.
Well, you know, this is interesting, right? This is something that came, one of the main reasons why this happened, there's multiple reasons that made me arrive at this, right? Like search out this stuff and find it. And one of the main things was like, I used to travel, I mean, I still do, but I travel a lot for fights and things like that. And I would always try to train at different places. And one of the things that would blow my mind is having this experience of going to schools where the instructor was like this super eloquent, well-spoken, you know, every little detail, freaking, you know, I'm like,
Angle of the hand.
Mind blown after the class. Like, wow, that was crazy. And then I'd roll with the students and they weren't very good. And then on the contrast, like I would go to other places where the instruction felt very lacking. Like, you know, I'd see the class, the person would teach whatever, and I'd be like, really? Yeah, just retch around right here and then fucking, and the students would be savages. You know? And so I would ask myself, I'd be like, what is the difference? You know, and then obviously good versions of both of those too, right? Like going to places where both things were present. The guy was really eloquent and well-spoken and his students were savages. And the guy who didn't say nothing, his students sucked, right? Like, so I had both experiences, but I was like, what are the ones where everybody's good have in common? And it was a lot of live training, you know, so that the school where the guys wasn't teaching very well, you know, I one comes to mind where the instructor didn't even speak very good English and everybody was English speaking, you know, but everybody was really good.
Professor Lucas?
I ain't saying no names, but no, it was a lot of live training, you know? And so then now I feel like the constraints-led approach is kind of an upgrade on that idea because we constrain for all these different things, right? We constrain to make them see things that they wouldn't see. We constrain to make them stop doing this is the main thing I do with my fighters now because they all have habits. I constrain to take things away from them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, nope, you do that every freaking time. And
so
it's
guess
great.
what?
Yeah, and it's great. But something
What
else,
happens when somebody says no?
So it's, and not only that, but what happens when somebody studies the film?
Right. That's what I'm saying. When someone says no physically, not like.
Yeah, when that coach helps them figure out the solution, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know? And then it's like, all right, well, let's constrain to make you stop doing things and make you have to think outside your own box.
I actually buy into that.
Yeah.
I would be on that team. You know, I've always been of the team when I coached that I've had coaches that there's a million details for every move. And they're like, your hand's got to be at a 45 and you got to do this. And I never really excelled at those types of learning environments.
Sure.
Where when I would coach, I'll show you the move. Mm-hmm. I'll show you how I do the move.
Yep.
I'll show you maybe a slight variance of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll tell you the key points. You know, this is your starting point.
Now, see, this
you want to be here, and then this is where you want to finish. And how you get there is how you get there.
But check this out, though, right? So, like, even that, right? Like, and this is where, you know, CLA really diverges from a lot of old school training is reading about it and about the science and everything really forced me to realize that, like, man, especially because I'm the guy, right? Like, everybody, you know, like the fighters are coming to me, they're like, yo, you're my coach. Like, show me how to do this thing or whatever. I have to be very careful about what I say because it shapes their reality. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if I'm like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, they're like, oh,
I'm on it.
You know, but again, like they don't have the same abilities, capabilities, and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's a bunch of crap I can't do that Chepe can do. You know, so it's like for me to tell him this is the way is ridiculous. You know,
can't run headfirst through walls.
No, you know, but he can. He certainly can. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it just, you know, same thing with JJ. You know, there's strengths and flexibilities and things that she has that I just don't have. So for me to tell her like, oh, this is the way, in my opinion, right, is not a good idea because that just doesn't make sense. Right. You know, like would you do, even if it was the same exact move, you know, like my knee slice is going to be different than yours and different than yours.
And that's kind of what I was talking about. Yeah. Like I'm going to show you my, you know, this is how I do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give you 27 details on how to get there because it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people quit on moves or quit on situations because the instructor is like, nope, your hand's not at the right. Nope, you got to go back and you got to try
Do
that
it again. Yeah.
Well, if I can get there,
Yeah, I don't give a shit what it looks like.
if I can get there, I can get there.
Yeah,
Like I appreciate you showing me where you started from, how you resolve, kind of how you got there. But I'm gonna build, I'm gonna build my pizza different than you build your pizza. It's still a pizza. We're still getting there.
Man, from my standpoint, if I give you the task and you achieve it, as long as, when we're training, as long as it doesn't hurt your training partner or whatever, like I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, get there from here. That's all I want.
You put them on their hip, and it's like you could do a spin around backflip first, and then do it. And as long as it doesn't injure you or them. Same thing. It's
show me how you get up.
You could just turn like catfish and jump up.
Whatever.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's definitely Mike and I. We talked a lot about this stuff. Probably, Mike's probably one of the people who's like, God, if he talks about this shit again. No, I know. My wife is like that, man. Like she's so over it. Like every time I start talking about like the eco stuff and CLA and shit, she's like, shut up.
She's not in combat sports.
She's a blue belt, probably really was like days away from probably getting her purple belt when she kind of stopped training. She's an attorney now. And so most of her energy is spent doing that and wrangling our little guy. But she gets it for sure. And we've been together for 20 years.
Like my wife has been around me in combat sports forever, married for 12 years. And I would still like when I trained a lot or when I'd come home and you'd be like, well, then we got to get an angle like this. Yeah. And, because I coached for a long time after I fought.
Right.
And I would come home and she's like, I understand everything you're saying. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. That's where my wife is right now.
Yeah,
dude.
like,
Literally like
I'm
she's so chill, but like literally the second I start talking about CLA, I could just see her face. She's just like,
here we go.
Just because
here's an hour of my life I will never get back.
Yep. Well, I think it's just important. The whole dynamic of this coaching thing is like we're in a different time now to where everybody's good, and how do we practice getting good?
Yeah.
Well, and I had an experience for 15, 20 years teaching people the old method, right? Like here, let me show you, and I drill it 50 times.
And watching how slowly they arrive.
Well, it wasn't that. Like some of them arrive fairly quickly, but what I'm realizing at this level where Mike and I are coaching is that these people are like the pinnacle of everything, right? Like they have extreme.
They're already there.
They're smart. They're skilled. They're all these things, and so the best of them are adaptable.
Right.
They're not. Oh, I'm good at these moves. Like they don't even have moves.
Everything's just fluid.
Yes. The best of them, they're just out there doing and responding to what's happening in front of them. And so that was a big piece of it. It was like, how do I help these fighters get from here to there? You know, like instead of just getting to that spot where they're like, man, I'm really good at this move. And then it doesn't work. And they're like,
I'm dead. I always like lend back to, interviews that Gaethje's done a bunch of times where they ask him about something, like right after a fight, they'll ask him about something in the fight. And he's like,
I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah.
He truly has. He's like, let's watch it. And then I can tell you because I have no idea what happened at all.
Honestly, man.
It's just because he just lets it flow. He just, what happens. Yeah.
But you know what's funny? If you look at the careers of those folks, right? Like, I mean, obviously there's many high level people and they all, operate in different kind of levels. So like, this person's really cerebral, this person's really athletic, whatever. But if you look at the Gaethjes and, guys like Chepe and stuff like that, who are super creative and dynamic when they're out there, I can look back from, with Gaethje, I remember when we were sparring over at Grudge and he, much, much younger and stuff like that. And it's like, they all, same thing with my jiu-jitsu students that were really talented and got their black belts in record amount of times and things like that. Like they all just like, it was very live and very playful for them, like the whole time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was never this like, I got to win each
It was
time,
never task loaded.
Yeah, or like do this perfect thing every time. It's like they're just out there, responding to what's happening to
them. And those
them.
are always the best students when when it's not a million questions about every detail and you're trying to tell them to not like stop focusing so much on the tiny movements and start thinking about the big piece of it. Like, I don't care. I don't care how you put your foot. I don't. Not even a little bit.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not even for a minute.
As long as it's safe for you.
Right. As long as you're not putting yourself in.
Don't twist your leg off. Don't twist their leg off.
And I think a lot of the high level top athletes across any sport.
Any sport, yeah.
Any sport. You watch the ones where everything is just it just happens. They're just doing it.
Well, and if you think about it,
Not because they just knew how to do it instinctually, but they've had good training.
Well, it doesn't even matter what sport we're talking about, especially the ones with a little more like dynamic play, like soccer and baseball and basketball. You know, it's like the ones that everybody ends up like idolizing, and the ones that are the GOATs are the ones who are so adaptable, right? It's like, you know, in our era, you remember like Michael Jackson going up one hand, or Michael Jordan, going up one hand, bringing it down, switching to the other hand. Like, you know, it was those adaptable things that was like, oh my God, did you see that? You know,
well, he didn't plan it.
Yeah, and same thing fighting, right?
What
like,
happened?
Yeah.
I went up, it wasn't there, so I just...
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same thing in fighting now, I think. And for us as coaches, I think it's important for us to try to help those fighters get outside of that, like, oh, this is what I do, and just become problem solvers.
Do you think over the next 5 years, 10 years, that traditional way of coaching, repetition, do you think that those people are going to get left behind?
No, I don't.
You think it's still there for them?
Yeah, you know, and this is the one part that's different for me, right? Like, I think when I first really got on this wave, I was hardcore, like, man, fuck those guys, you know, like they're gonna get left behind and whatever. But it's like, no, man, you know, there's enough body of evidence and history, you know, that method works. It just, again, for me, it's like, what am I trying to do? Like, create a high level person? Because I think you can do that with that. Or do I want to create like the highest level person? And I think to do that, you have to have a lot of element of like what Mike and I are talking about with like the live play and the, you know, creativity, leaving room for them to be themselves in it.
Do your stuff.
Yeah. Instead of like, don't do my thing, do your thing. And like,
right. Well, you can't coach somebody out of themselves.
Right. Yeah. My job as a coach is to help figure out what that is for you, you know, and like I can guide the practice where together we can do that. You know, well, what did you feel there? Oh, well, what do you think about this? Oh, you don't like that? Well, what about that? You know what I mean? Versus
well, being a coach and being able to understand from an athlete. I mean, one thing when you have like a white belt with 3 stripes telling you they don't like how the move works, that's a lot less.
I feel the same. Still,
but you know the same. But you know what I mean? It's now, like it's different,
but it's
because they don't have. But I mean,
no. What he's saying is it doesn't matter what belt you are. It doesn't matter if it's your first day.
And
if you don't like it,
I can agree with that to an extent.
But hear me out though, right? Like, because it's there. There's when we're coaching an athlete, there's all these different variables, right? What can their body do? What is their mind geared like? Right. And so for like some people, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and a lot of coaches, I think, would take that mentality, like you said there, where it's like, oh, you're a 3-stripe white belt. Like, you don't even fucking know shit. Like, shut up. And I feel like you stunt the growth a little bit there, because what we could do is recognize that that's one of those variables about them. Oh, their mentality is they want to be on top. Like, they don't want to be on the bottom.
Right.
Okay. Well, okay. With respect to that, let's build this then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, I think I was coming more from like, after you have a foundation of knowledge, like they need to understand basic movements of jiu-jitsu. No, not at all. Nothing. I'm interested. I'd like to see it. Because mostly again, because I think the problem is ego and people's unwillingness to just listen for a moment. Listen for, like, let's build you something based on who you are. Like, I'm not saying you have to do, you're a top side jiu-jitsu player.
Sure.
So you're going to learn to be a bottom side jiu-jitsu player, and that's all we're going to do. I'm saying, let's give you a foundation.
Sure.
And then from that foundation where you can have an intelligent conversation with me, let's adjust everything to fit your base.
Give me an example of something that you would consider to be foundational.
I'm saying like simple things, like just understanding like simple moves like guard.
Sure.
Top guard, bottom guard, half guard. You know, let's get there and let's understand a few things. And there's always like simple guard replay, you know, just showing them the mechanics of why you don't want to be here and how you can start to move.
But what if you should be there? I shouldn't be there. It doesn't work with my mentality.
Right.
It doesn't work with many things. But you?
Oh, no. I'm not
should
saying
be there.
I'm not saying don't be there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying,
but I
don't
mean,
be
like
there.
maybe that's your fucking spot.
I know, but I'm saying
Because I agree
having
with
a
you.
base
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
Like there's people that have never wrestled, that have never done, and they've never even had siblings that they had tussles with.
Sure.
You have to give them kind of at least an overview knowledge of what's going on so that they can find who they are, for one. Then you can adjust the game to meet the things that you can watch them go.
I've seen
I
the
get
opposite
that.
though.
Really?
Yes, bro. There's a guy. This is what there's a big jiu-jitsu guy that kind of got me into this. I was looking for answers, things to work with Chepe and JJ, and I'm like, man, how do I evolve as a coach? Like, what's the new? Like, what are people saying now? And I'm looking and I'm reading, and this guy Greg Souders came across my field of view, and I had the opportunity to go out and train at his school, and he has a foundations class. Oddly, that's what it's called, the fundamental class, and he doesn't teach any moves. Like he never taught a move the whole time I was there. You know what I mean? And
I think this is more along the line of what I was trying to say without being able to put the words together.
Yeah, but keep in mind, like, because it's very extreme what I'm saying, because you do not see this very often, right? Like, I think we all tend to, especially coming from the background that we have, be like, oh, this, let me tell you this foundation and how the beginning works and this and whatever. And it's like, I would agree with that up until that point that I went out to his school, because then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, like these people are amazing. Like all these students are really good. And he never taught a move at all. I mean, literally, like every time that he would walk out there, it would be like, oh, okay. So, and mind you, these are people who have some of them it was their first day or whatever. And they were doing jujitsu, bro. Because he was so skilled at like simplifying what the tasks were and constraining the games that they were playing to be safe, that they were doing jujitsu, and there was no ego and none of that stuff because of the way that he would constrain the games, So I'm just like, I think when a lot of people hear about this stuff, and it's because there's a lot of depth to it and a lot of science and all this stuff, like it's very easy to misconstrue it as just like, oh, positional training or live training but it really is much different than that. And I encourage everybody who's curious about it. Greg's kind of a polarizing human being. Not very many people like him because he's kind of brash, and he, in the past he's shit all over like traditional training. But I encourage people, look at Greg, look at Rob Gray, who's a scientist out of Arizona, who kind of wrote some books, how we learn to move, and a couple of other books about all this stuff. That is very, very powerful, and it really helps to clarify what the difference is between, just this mentality of like, oh, let him figure it out or whatever, and what it is that he's actually doing.
But I guess my question now is going to be, I get it, and I'm I understand, and I'm not opposed to that type of training at all.
Yeah.
Where does technique come in? Like, you still have to show someone how to do a Kimura.
No, you don't.
You do.
I saw him teach this class, and this is what he said. He said, guys, we're going to get in this position, right? And the armbar actually was a class, but very, very similar, right? Because the arms only break in two different ways, right? And this is what he said at the class. He's like, okay, we're going to get in this position. He didn't call it a position, right? Armbar position or nothing like that. He just got there in the armbar, what we would call an armbar position, right? So he's, perpendicular to the person with his legs over, and he's got the arm, right? And he's like, look, we're going to, in order to break somebody here, the arm either has to hyperextend or it has to twist.
Right.
We're not going to do either of those right now, because in order to do either of those, you have to first be able to hold them down. So we're going to get in this armbar position, and you're not trying to armbar them or do any of that stuff. You just have to first hold them down.
Sit up and hold.
So the person that, on top, you hold them down as long as you can. Bottom person, you want to clear your elbow or get up to your knees. If you do that, you win. And again, they're doing jiu-jitsu. They're doing it live. Then the progression was, okay, now we held them down. We're doing pretty good with that. Like, now we're going to look to open their hands and not armbar, like not pull back and
separate their hands.
Yeah, but just literally separate their hands and keep them separated as long as we can, right? And then they're still doing the same thing. They're trying to get out and do so there is ways, I think, where we can get people to recognize this stuff for themselves versus us being like, oh, these are the fundamental things, because the body doesn't listen to that shit anyways, like you see it half the time when you're teaching people, they're like, it's like, create the situation, put them in it, use your experience as a coach to guide the practice to where they will pick up the affordances.
So you do no
I try to do as little as possible.
Technique.
No, I am in a weird spot because a lot of the athletes that I work with, they came up already this other way.
Right.
And so I tell them all this. I say, look, I don't want to ever answer your questions because I think you need to figure it out. I'll help you figure it out. But out of respect for what we both experienced for 15, 20 years or whatever, if you ask me a question, I will answer it. But you should just know that I don't want to.
That the answer is going to be a question.
Yeah, well, because I'll answer it. If they ask me, I'll give them, hey, this is what I would do. And I would give it step by step, whatever, like I would if I was teaching somebody an old technique like I liked. But they know, my people that work with me, they know I don't want to do that. You know?
Well, I think one of the things that, like, I think it's a good thing that Vellore does. But he's like, I don't know, like after sparring, let's just say a question comes up and he's like, well, what are you doing? And the fighter will be like, this. Well, don't do that. and then
wait, I got knocked out. We should really avoid that.
Well, don't do that. Do something else. And then they end up figuring out the own answer for themselves.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay, that was easy. I was like, well, you just answered it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
right?
What's cool about it, I think, is that the athletes, because man, again, I can't joystick you through the fight, and I damn sure try sometimes, but I can't, yeah, you guys here, but you got to be able to figure it out in the moment. And the more that make you do that in practice, the more you're going to be able to.
I love it. I love the concept. And I believe in the depth that I understand right now, I believe in it. I'm going to have to educate myself a little bit more on understanding because I can't get past like there has to be some technique.
I think
you know what technique is to me now. What technique is? It's a bag of spells. Like, oh, let me pull out my bag of spells over here and
I'm saying like
Expelliarmus, and if it works, it's cool, and if it doesn't, it's not.
Like for me, I use multiple setups to get to a position, or I use multiple setups. Like I will tease something one way so that I can get what I want back the other direction.
Yeah. But who's to say that you had to have somebody tell you how to do that in order to figure that out?
I this is where I'm agreeing with you the most because I've never had a coach that was like,
excuse me, do it this way.
Because I'm not like other grapplers in a lot of aspects. And, but I learned how to do an arm triangle. I also learned how to do an Americana. And because I had those two understandings of the exact move and how they worked, as far as like the mechanics of the move, one of my very favorite things to do is to work back and forth off of the Americana and the arm triangle because one opens the door for the other, and I will tease them both back and forth so many times that eventually the trap is there. No coach ever worked through that with me. It just came from live repetitions, but it came from understanding the mechanics of each of those two moves.
Right. And again, I can break down what they talk about in the CLA stuff for jiu-jitsu is like invariance. So there's a lot of, there's a misconception that I'm just like, here, get in the position. Oh, fuck off.
Right.
And it's like, that's not it. There's a lot of information given. It's just only about things that we consider to be like invariant is the word that Greg likes to use a lot. The things that don't change, right? Like if you did an arm bar on me and then you did one on Mike, there would be some differences, right? Just because our body types and flexibilities.
I've got to figure out the puzzle.
But there's some things that would be the same, no matter who you did it on, right? Me, Mike, the Rock, whoever. 100%. And so for us as really embracing the CLA grind and trying to bring that forward, it's how do we focus on, simplify it down to the things that are present in every arm bar.
Right.
And let's just focus on that.
Leverage,
that's what I'm going to tell you. And everything else, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? But like, this is the one thing that matters.
Okay, this makes more sense now because you have to understand the mechanics of how things work.
Yeah.
And then, so when I was coaching a lot, I used to, when I would work with people, a lot of times it would be, first we're going to learn the ABCs.
Right.
Then we're going to learn how to write words. Then we're going to learn how to write in cursive. And in cursive is your interpretation of how it happens in the flow.
Sure.
First we're just, I got to learn, we're going to learn this, period. I know completely against what your concept is.
Sure.
But in the same time, people always seem to progress the most in the cursive stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was, listen, I don't care, you know, along the way. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's hard for a lot of coaches, though, you know, because so many coaches came up in a system where it's very much about the aesthetic of the move, you know, like, oh, it has to look, like you said, 45 degrees this way. And, and, you know, if I can be honest, especially about martial arts, it's one of the reasons why we're so far behind, I think, because a lot of other sports have been doing this for 20 years already. You know, wrestling's been doing this type of training for a very long time. MLB baseball, you know, like
not everybody swings the same.
Right. And so, you know, I think one of the things that holds martial arts back specifically is that there's a lot of people who are teachers who, you know, are very
traditionalist.
You know, bow to your sensei. I'm the dude with the scroll.
Oh, I forgot.
You know, I got the biggest. Exactly. Yeah, I got the biggest bag of you know, tricks over here. So come over here and let me bless you with.
Let me sprinkle a little bit.
Yeah, and so I think that's one of the things that holds it back. You know, and because there hasn't been a whole lot of money made in jiu-jitsu, right? And one of the few ways that people have made money is what? Selling instructionals.
Right.
And so, you know,
my technique wins.
$2.99.
Come on down. You can have it too. Oh, you're a bottom side player?
Sure.
Let me show you how top side jiu-jitsu is going to be the move for you.
Right.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's like, not, man, like, if I'm really coaching you and being there for you, we're going to develop something very unique and specific for you. It can't be this repetition. You know, and obviously I've had students that very much mimicked my game just because our whole makeup was very similar. And our makeup was very similar. Our mental makeup, our physical bodies. You know what I mean? But outside of that, like, everybody's different, you know? So if you respect that, and if you can come at it with the right mentality.
Well, that's where, like, having an athlete and having a coach who are working together, not working like I'm the coach, you're the I tell you, because I definitely got the most growth in jiu-jitsu when I would be able to be working on something and turn to a coach and go, hey, take a look at this. When I try, it's not like, it doesn't work this way for me. And they're like, nope, that's how we do it. You will learn. And I'm like, it doesn't. Guess what? This move is no longer in my repertoire. Why? Because I asked you something about the physics of it. I asked you something about, hey, with my body type or how I work. And they're like, every body type can do it. You just got to train it. No, that's not the truth. There's certain things that I can't do. But there's certain things that I could do
that you can't do.
If you would teach me or help me figure out the adjustment that I can make that bridges that gap between throwing this move away and it becoming something that I'm
and truth be told, dude, we throw a lot of moves away too. You know, because it's like I'll work with somebody and it's like, hey, this is something I like, and then I try it and I'm like, you know, what do you think? Oh, I hate it. Well, screw it then. Let's find something else.
My favorite word is when Vellore's like, that sucks. I love it. I love it.
Hey, well, because, you know, what we say, like, effectiveness is a spectrum, right? Like, doing it and being successful is the first barrier for effectiveness, but then mastery is efficiency, right? So then it's like, for me, if it's not inside that thing, it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you can't even get to the point where you like do it.
Well, even if ready to go. If you can do it, but it takes everything you have and everything. Like, when you get to that point, you've wasted every bit of energy and mental. Then it's not even the finish. So what the hell are you doing there? Like, stay away from that.
Yep. Yeah.
You're making me look bad.
No, it's funny that you say that, man. We joke all the time, Mike and I do, about stuff like that. Like, you know, if somebody does something crazy that we've been, you know, because obviously we talk a lot with the athletes we work with, and so we're very familiar with their habits.
Yeah.
And the things they do well and the things that they do over and over that we wish they would do.
And also understanding their mentality.
Right. Yeah. And so when they do something like that, we're like, yo, it's like, if he does that, I'm gonna leave. Like, he's gonna turn around the corner, I'm gonna be gone.
I'm out. Yeah.
Between rounds, I'm just gonna stay out here.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't need me, obviously, so I'll just be over here.
Yeah.
Because that shit you were doing ain't my stuff.
It ain't my shit.
Yeah.
So. Well, hey, you know, it just wasn't effective. So that was your fault.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I wish there could be more like corner cameras that are honest corner cameras.
Ooh, that would be so bad.
No, just like the
I
entertainment
would get
value of
canceled.
it, like where you just have the coach go, no, stop.
Yeah.
Like that's terrible. Don't ever do that again.
You know what's funny is like we always catch some pretty cool moments. I think between the UFC and their equipment and cameras and everything, and then all the cameras and stuff that we be wearing and using. But I'd say probably about 20% of that shit's for the human
not
consumption.
safe for
The rest
for work.
of it is it just depends on the athletes and everything. But I will say this: at the higher levels, I think it's a lot more appropriate. Right, because there's less craziness like that as far as like what needs to be said. Right,
Well, you take guys like Trevor Whitman,
sure,
and his corner talk,
flawless,
which is great.
But if you
then
corner somebody like Caleb Crump, forget it.
Oh God,
not happening.
you might need to smack him, and then that's different.
Get him there. But you watch you even watch Trevor and like sometimes. It's not like in the corner talk that he'll have is like, that was fucking terrible. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, again, if that's what's happening, I feel like we have at least the athletes that we work with together. I think there's very few of them that need that type of talk.
Yeah.
At least very, very often. But yeah, I think for me anyways, I don't know what your experience is, Mike, but I feel like I end up being crazy with the lower level fighters a little bit more, as far as like needing more fucking like, what the,
let's go.
Yeah.
You're in a fight.
Like Isaiah.
like kind of cut. Yes. Oh my God. Oh, dude. So look, we're cornering Isaiah.
What's my favorite?
Who's one of
This is
my
fucking
did he
favorite
tell you?
thing. Well, I was cornering. I was cornering the first time
Okay.
down at Eclipse.
Okay.
I was cornering Mike Lambert, and you
Right,
guys
right.
were cornering
Isaiah.
Okay.
And I watched Mike tape his hands and untape his
No,
hands.
this was even what?
No,
Tell him
dude.
the story.
Listen, in the fight, Isaiah, after the first round, we sit him down on the stool, right? I'm outside the ring. He's inside the ring, right?
Is this at the Eclipse or
No,
the second or the
Budweiser.
title
This is
fight?
the second.
It was at the Sparta
Okay.
Budweiser.
So I
or
slide
whatever.
the stool in. Isaiah sits down and he goes, "Hey, Mike, it's 3 minutes. I think it's supposed to be 2 minutes. Can you tell the ref?" Because he whatever, he didn't read the contract or whatever and didn't realize his rounds were going to be 3 minute rounds. He thought they were 2 minute rounds.
Right.
And so, he starts saying all this and Mike's like, "Shut the fuck up." Like, he's like, "We're in it
We're in a
now."
fight.
Yeah, he's like, "We're in it now. Dude. You like, shut up.
Show up.
Like,
Let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah. So, we end up with those moments, I think, a little bit more with like the more junior fighters. But like, man, with like Chepe and JJ and stuff, like they're just so good and like seasoned. It's really just about getting the right information in their ear, so we can just talk like this. It's like,
Yeah, very, very like small
If they-
pieces of information that get them where they need to
If they
be.
get the right information, they're going to respond well.
Right.
So, we don't necessarily need that level of energy. And for those guys, the fight and their money's on the line, like there's plenty of stress. So we almost have to keep a little more,
You're
I
trying
feel
to
like
bring it
with
back.
those guys,
too much.
it's better. It's better to have no information, just let them go,
Mm-hmm.
than to give them any information that might or too much information. Like, so it's got to be really direct. Like this. Okay, breathe.
But
Yeah,
you're
and it's like
but
2,
you're
3
young
things.
fighters. Sometimes you got to bring them. You're like no, come back. Yeah,
You got
so
smelling salt in your pocket, like,
I corner Mike Lambert,
up.
and I love the kid. I love him to death.
right.
But it is 100% guarantee. If it's a 3-minute round, like a minute and 15, a minute 30 into the first round, he's going to look over, and his eyes are going to be so fucking big that you're like, oh my God, if he doesn't
Shit's going down.
if he doesn't get that in check, that adrenaline dump is going to hurt real bad.
Mm-hmm.
He gets touched a little, and then like for him in his mind, it's a focus thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I've tried to talk to him a lot about. I'm like, that's not a focus thing.
I think that's that sheepdog thing we were talking about, man. I think you can improve it.
No,
but-
it's not. Like he's not ready to run. Like you watch him go.
Yeah,
Like
but
big
no,
eye-
that's what I mean. Like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I think you can improve it, but as far as like that high level of just like being able to just be in there freaking doing it, like I think very few people actually have that. Even of the high level fighters, I think there's probably maybe 10% of them.
When I get
really
him
have that.
to the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and we go out for round 2.
Mm-hmm. Then
Cool.
he's good.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you got to fucking stop that.
I wish that was the case.
I'm like,
Isaiah.
you have got, dude, you got to calm the fuck down. You got to get in a rhythm. I'm like, do you remember any? And he's like, and I'm like, no.
Yep.
No. If we stay right here where we're at,
That red line.
your arms are going to turn into cement in about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Stop, relax. Let's get it back together.
You know, I'd make the argument that a lot of, and at least for fighting specifically, I feel like this is where I come from with a lot of the eco and CLA stuff, is that I would argue that a lot of the reason why we see that, other than the mental reasons, right? Like, oh, this is scary as shit, is because we're, you know, a lot of those athletes came up building these games of moves.
Right.
You know, and then
It's all
when you're
chess.
and when you're in a fight, it's like, it's not really like that. It's this kind of fluid, chaotic, you know.
You know what? This is going to sound crazy. I grew up in trauma my whole life. Like I grew up in trauma.
Yeah.
And you watch other athletes that grew up in trauma. And like I've talked to Mike about it too. Like when I was fighting, as soon as the cage door gets locked and the guy says fight, it's
almost like better.
It's actually the only time things are quiet.
Yep.
Because I know it's chaos. Like, okay,
Sure.
I'm here and I.
Well,
like,
it's a form of meditative thing almost.
this is
right?
my
Like, you're
natural.
like,
Like I understand this.
Yeah.
Like the real world stuff, like
Crazy.
that, like my anxiety, I don't leave the house very often.
Sure.
I don't do public. Because my anxiety goes through the roof. But when I can be put in that situation,
It's like
dude, I can have a conversation with Mike during a fight.
Wow.
While I'm fighting, we can chat the whole way around.
I'm glad you got that. I didn't get that. It was the opposite for me. I was definitely more like your boy with the
Big old saucer eyes.
yeah. Like,
But I think it comes from, and I'd like to see a study on it, but I think a lot of people who are raised in trauma who become combat athletes, you watch them and then things slow down. And they're like, you can talk to those people.
sure. Yeah.
You can talk to those people. But then it's not every fighter in every situation, but
Sure.
I've seen a few.
I've seen a few. I think I would fit into this category. I grew up with a lot of trauma when I was younger as well, but it didn't help me out. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, I think it might have even done the opposite a little bit, maybe kind of conditioned me to freeze a little bit in those moments. So yeah, I mean, I see it all the way, but one thing I think I would certainly agree with you is the majority of fighters that I know come from some sort of like difficult background.
Yeah, you don't just sign up to get punched in the face.
No. Yeah, most of them are not, completely sane,
Yeah, I mean, if you have a silver spoon and can go get a degree and become a lawyer, you probably
should just be a lawyer.
Aren't going like you. It just doesn't make sense to try to make a living getting punched in the face
at all.
So.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, don't look to people who get punched in the face as a role model 90% of the time, because 90% of the time those people
straight up
they're
fighting some pretty bad demons.
They're just as fucked up, if not more fucked up than you. And what you should be doing is just saying, "Hey, man, I'm glad you got through that. That was a tough fight.
Straight up,
you did good." But that's not the guy you want to tell your kid. You see him,
be like him, And in some ways, like my kid's, Canelo's grown up in the gym since he was like 2-3 months old.
Yeah, but you can pick and choose the guys because you see them for their whole being.
And also, I think, again, there's very few who I would want necessarily and this isn't a knock against them. It's just that I want to be very selective about who I would have impacting like his mind. But man, physically, I love all those folks as role models for him, because they're in there pushing themselves.
Physically, 100%. If you have a kid that's an athlete and there's an athlete that, you can say, do you see how much work they put in? Do you see how dedicated they are to the craft?
Yeah, look
do you
at the
see
sweat and the blood and the tears.
They're willing to do it. I'm saying the other piece of it outside of the cage. I mean, you have to be able to, for the most part, you got to pick and choose who you would like.
Yeah.
The way I say is, who would you pick as the godfather for your kid? Is it going to?
I'm pretty lucky, man. I think Mike probably is in a similar scenario like this too. Like when I talk shit about fighters or whatever, like I'm mostly kidding, but a lot of them, we're around a lot of fighters, but I don't necessarily work with a lot of them, right? But I feel lucky in that the fighters that I work with, like the great majority of them, I would feel very comfortable about. Yeah. Man.
Well, that's you also get to pick and choose who you work with.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole gym.
Yeah.
And
I didn't always have that. I'm grateful now.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you've earned your way into that, but you would pick. I mean, you wouldn't choose to work with a fighter that you probably wouldn't have your kid around.
True. Well, honestly, man, if I'm being honest about that, I think I'm like still revising, still figuring out for myself as a coach what I like and what I don't like. Like there's even things that I'm still figuring out and discovering about myself as a coach that I'm like, oh man, I got to make sure to make that a point with like anybody that I would work with that's new to me. Like make sure that they understand that that's important with me, because there's fighters that I've worked with for a long time where I feel like I missed that. Like I didn't really voice what it was, like who I am and what's important to me.
These are my non-negotiables.
These are my boundaries, like, and these are the things, because I'm pretty easy to get along with, but there's certainly some things that like will put you in the doghouse with me as a person. Right. And that's usually what it is, right? Like the training is the training, and most of these people are dedicated and they fight hard.
They're there for a reason.
But yeah, as far as like, just the way that we interact, communication, loyalty, all of these types of things, and again, these are things that I haven't necessarily like really voiced before, but I know like learning through these experiences that I'm having and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, moving forward, I should probably make sure that somebody understands like, hey, if we do this, like this is my expectation.
Well, and it's, I guess it comes from understanding and bringing people into that circle, and also just as important, letting people go from that circle and go, hey man, we're not aligned.
Yeah.
Like I like you as a person. I don't want to get to a point where I don't.
That one's tough for me.
Yeah.
That's
Mike knows this.
Me. Yeah. That's
it's not tough for Mike, but because Mike
will cut you off tomorrow.
Mike's like a samurai, bro.
Yeah,
he keeps the sword right there. It's
just my perfect, even as Caleb. I told Caleb that. I told that to Caleb. I said, Caleb, I like you and I want to keep liking you. Right. I would rather not help you.
I can't coach you and like you.
If I help you, I will not like you at the end.
Right.
And that's how I feel. Like I'm just
and I'm such a bleeding heart, I think, for people, because man, like I have been, and I I won't say it like it's some distant, far away thing. I have been a very difficult person, for a lot of people in my life, and I try and remember how like grateful I am for the people who really stuck it out with me and like helped me. For sure. So when I see people fumbling in these ways, even if it like personally affects me, there's that part of me that's like still rooting for him. I'm like, come on, man, you got this. Like,
I've been the worst
it's destructive.
I've been the worst human on earth at points in my life, and just not been a quality individual that I would want to wish on anybody.
Straight up. Yeah.
I've done a lot of work, and I've really tried to put together, a pretty good base and go, if you judge me on that person, then yeah, I'm garbage. But if you're going to look at the whole picture and what I've done, and I think maybe it's unfortunate, but I'm kind of harder on people where I don't just give them
because of that.
I don't give them the pass.
Look, I did this work. Like I know.
I don't give them the pass. Like Mike gives no one a pass. Like you get zero fucking pass. Like he doesn't even have a pass. Like if he wanted to give one, he doesn't even know where to get one. He's like,
I can't.
Whereas you're more like, I'm gonna, I'll give you this, and then if you respond to it, then we stay in.
Nope.
But if you go over that line, then you're out.
Nope.
No?
Nope. I wish. I do. And
you keep them in?
I do. And Mike
really do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Mike knows this about me, man. Like I
every time you do that, Mike should kick you in the balls.
He should, but it's everybody's got their own thing, right? Like that they're dealing with and struggling with. And that one's a tougher one for me, man, because, and again, it's a gift and a curse, right? Most things are, right? Same thing that make you laugh, make you cry. And for me, I feel like one of my gifts is always seeing the best in people. It is also
that's a curse.
Exactly.
That is not a gift.
But hold on, as a coach, it's very helpful.
Right. Sure, it is.
Right, because it's like, man, I can see your potential, and then let's go
with the right people. When you make that choice with the right people, when you keep trying to see the best in someone who has no intention of actually being the best, or what you see in them, then all it does is hurt you over time. Because you keep thinking that you're letting them down because you see the best in them. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but if I could only help them, if I could only help them a little bit more, if I could only show them that, life is good on the other side.
Honestly, man, like for me, I have some people in my life who've been there for 15, 20 years, and they had to deal with so much stuff from me. And I literally, with those people, got to a point where I was like one day it would be like an epiphany, and I'd be like, damn, like this motherfucker like really rides for me.
Right.
Like I love that, you know. And then it's like,
but that's your self-awareness finally kicking in.
Exactly. But like you said,
some people don't
finally
have it.
kicking in though.
But some people don't
like,
have it
yet. That's my
or at all.
Agreed. And like obviously you probably agree.
See, the thing with me is like
I'm probably between.
But
you
I'm like, but they can though.
I'm,
they
I'm,
will.
I'm definitely like, I am the middle of you two.
Sure.
I just with the coaching thing is like I just try to give as much as I can.
Right.
So I want to pick what I'm doing, and if I cut you off, it's not like I just don't have the energy. Because we're not making money doing this.
No.
You're not?
No. You know, like.
Oh, I thought you guys.
I wish.
No, don't get me wrong. Like there's some money, right? But I mean, like we both, I'm sure, could do other things that wouldn't be nearly as stressful and make more money.
If you take the time value of money and the hours spent.
Especially because a lot of the up and coming guys and girls, like there's like no.
What are they going to give you? 10% of their $250?
Well, we're spending money to go do those.
And sometimes, you know, I know Vellore's probably done this because I've done it. So if I've done it, Vellore for sure's done it. And that, you know, how many times you give somebody money? Hey, I need to eat something. Hey, I need to, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, you know me, dude.
I'm already negative, you know?
I give people shit all the time. I'm like, I have it, you don't.
Yeah. So I think that's where I come from. That's why sometimes I'm just like, I can't do it because I do want to help you with it.
Hey, don't let Mike fool you though. He also cut somebody off for wearing like a fucking mock neck turtleneck or something. You know what I mean?
He's like, do you see what that motherfucker wore to the gym?
I'm done with him.
I'm out. Get me out of here.
See, I've been like Mike, hardline.
Yeah.
And I've been like you.
Yeah.
And I've been burned on both sides of it.
Yeah.
And I think for me now, I'm definitely not Mike.
Yeah.
But I've become so far from you at the same time. Like, if I see something in someone, I'm going to give them the opportunity. And when they step on that line for me, I'll tell you right now, I'll be like, listen, here's the deal, dude. Like, I get it. And I want to help you, but
I'm not feeling that.
That's a hard
and
no.
And then once you've had that communication, if they do it again, then
you're out.
Oh, wow.
Like, I don't even think twice about it.
I respect that.
I've already set your shit outside.
Yeah, I respect that because I think it's healthy boundary setting, right? And so the downside of this thing that I talk about so glowingly about myself is that, right? It's hard for me to make those boundaries and then like stick to it. And again, like, man, I've seen it go both ways. Obviously, I've been burned a bunch of times.
But it's energy and effort to the right people.
Sure.
When you're giving that person the energy and effort that person actually deserves, but you just want to believe in that person so bad that you're actually taking away from this person.
Honestly, man, I think we had a conversation about this one time. I think that there's a part of me that wants that other person. I want the one that is the difficult one. You know, like
until they steal your car and
yes, but again, because it's like
Vellore's such a nice guy. Steal my car. Okay, just bring it back when you can.
He's not wrong. But honestly, like that's how I feel about it. Right? Is I'm like, man, that guy has people lining up to try to work with him. The one who's squared away and has every, like
but I'm not saying this person's squared away. I'm saying this person may have some similar flaws.
Sure.
But this person, when you say, hey, dude, don't.
Right.
They go, got it.
And they make the adjustment.
I'm going to stay on this side of that line.
Right. And I'm
but
telling you.
that person keeps fucking stepping.
And that guy was me.
Right. But there's a problem.
There's not a problem because I feel
we both need somebody.
The thing with coaching people, especially fighters, and this is where I feel like if more coaches were like this, we would have better humans as fighters. Because you're not teaching people we're working with, we're not really teaching them that much.
No, you're teaching them about being a human is what you're teaching them.
Yeah, so you have to take, like there are coaches that you only succeed with the people that are squared away.
Sure.
I succeed with people that are broken and that are I quit on them 4 or 5 times.
You should quit on them.
And I'm an ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the beauty of the coaching is you got to find the people you vibe with, because no matter how much time or how much money they pay you, you're gonna,
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah,
It's time.
and I guess for me, there's a familiarity there with that type of person. That is the hard work person, right? Because I literally was that person, and I like to think that I've made a lot of growth and evolution as a person, away from a lot of the things that used to really shoot me in the foot. But because of that struggle that I went through, I really, really want to help those people. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like when everybody else is giving up on somebody, I'm like usually the one that's like, nah, dude, come on. Like, let's
See,
and listen, I've been burned fuck ton of times.
And that's the thing for me is where you have that line.
Mm-hmm.
That's my non-negotiable line.
Yeah.
And then they step on that line.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, dude, don't do that. And they're like, okay. And then a week later, they move the line to here. Mm-hmm. And you stop them and you're like, dude, I'm telling you, don't. And they're like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying to get it right. Mm-hmm. And then a week later, they move the fucking line to here.
Yeah.
And then eventually the line is so far out there, you turn around and you go, how the fuck did I get from there where my non-negotiable line is?
You only said, don't do that.
To
Mike,
you only said
right. No, that's
if
what
you
I'm
cut their
saying,
head off like Mike would,
like and this is where I had to learn
right.
to become the middle of you two,
Sure.
where once we're at that line,
mm-hmm.
We've already passed the gray area where I'm like, my radar's going off and I'm like,
yeah.
And then we get there and we bump into that line and I give you that and I say, don't.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over time is when I say don't, and you don't have enough respect for me as a human or yourself as a human to not.
Yeah.
Because you need to find out if that's really the line or if this is really the line or if this is really the line. That person, all they do is steal like my soul. They steal my energy. They steal everything about me because I can't figure out why I can't get that person.
With coaching athletes, most time that's off because they already steal your soul. Like there's no like
just part of the job description.
You really don't get that much out of it,
right?
Other than seeing people happy and seeing people succeed. What else is there?
Yeah, like
growth,
you said, I mean,
human growth.
Unless you're one of those handful of individuals that is actually seeing some, six-figure money every year and all that from doing it. I agree with Mike. Like it definitely ends up being a lot more of a give than a take.
But for me, it's even more important when you're not like
you don't get nothing,
get to steal.
You don't
because I'm not making any money already. You don't get to steal like pieces of me that I should be spending elsewhere.
Well, that's with coaching. That's just with coaching the high level fighters is like, that's for you. That shouldn't be your non-negotiable because it's gone. It's gone.
That's why I couldn't be a coach.
It's gone. You ain't going to have it.
Yeah.
Because I would have a bunch of people that I coached to a point that are now really good on another team.
It's just,
that happens too.
I'd be like, because I just can't do it. Like I refuse. And I'm terrible about it now. I refuse to spend time and emotion and energy on anyone in my life that I know is just a vampire of all of it. Like I just won't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I won't do it. Like I want you to be successful. I want you to have a great life. But guess what? You're going to have it over there.
Yeah.
And I'll live.
That's what I do with some people.
With my 5 people.
I respect it, but yeah, for me, and again, I'm working towards it. It's not something I'm going to say like, oh, I'm cool with it because I'm not. I recognize this as a flaw about myself and I'm working towards it.
You ever just choke them?
I mean, I get to choke them a lot, like we train.
Like some people are you just like, you're.
I mean, like I said, that part's built in too. I get to choke them, so it's all good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have to wind this up.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Mike, you went way over time.
We went way over time.
Oops.
But that's all good. It's fine.
No, it's a good conversation.
Whatever.
It's a good conversation.
It is what it is.
And that's what we want to do. So we are going to wind it up for this episode.
Yep.
We will see you guys
Tuesday.
And don't forget, there's
pole
a premiere
dancing
tomorrow. Mike and I will be pole dancing sometime soon.
Yeah, sometime.
You're trying to get out of it.
Yes.
I'm not.
I'm going to schedule it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it scheduled just so you can't back out.
Yeah.
No, we're in.
I'd be lying if I was like, no, I'm not. Yep. No, I'm not lying.
We have a premiere tomorrow.
Tuesday
will be
next Sunday.
Sunday.
Cool. So
looking forward to it.
Good.
See ya.
We're out. Bye.